Rolling through the bluff, trolling through the blockchain, slinging heavy clout. Spitting on the mic, what's the latest, what's about? Politicians dripping headlines, flipping out in the heart of the South, where the whispers turn to shouts. Meetings in the shadows, hustlers making plans, deals going down, gripping tight, shaking hands. City buzzing loud, news dap in demand. Dirty South vibe, deep roots, dirty land. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Rappers on the come up, topics in their rhymes. Truth spilling raw, cutting through the grime. Events popping off, party scenes in their prime. Southern nights wild, about to lose track of time. Headlines breaking, cities heartbeat racing. Discussions, heavy heads nodding syncopation. From the bodega gossip to the mayor's dictation. Southside stories, raw truth, no hesitation. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Rappers on the come up, topics in their rhymes. Truth spilling raw, cutting through the grime. Events popping off, party scenes in their prime. Southern nights wild, about to lose track of time. Headlines breaking, cities heartbeat racing. Discussions, heavy heads nodding syncopation. From the bodega gossip to the mayor's dictation. Southside stories, raw truth, no hesitation. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, living thick.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of the Drop By Discussions. We are on episode 42.
42.
Yeah, man, with your host, OGDoDirty, and my boy,
Resla over here. Hopefully everybody's doing pretty well today. Whew. How you day been, man?
Man, it's been a good day, bro. We've been having some great discussions. Me and LA been firing these streams up at least 2 or 3 a day. We've been pushing it as much as we can to get as many people to come in and support Kai and Tom. And they tried the timing, you know what I'm saying, with the house burning down and man trying to get back on their feet and everything, which everybody is safe and everything like that, and everything is good so far. We've been having a good turnout from what I've been seeing. I mean, everybody that's been coming through, showing love, support and stuff, and then other people that's been contributing. I just appreciate everybody that's doing great. It's been a good day, man. Had crazy conversations though, but it's been a good day.
I wish I could experience some more of those, but at the same time, I'm like, I need a break. Some of them getting a little too wild.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got how many people we got? We got 11 people in here so far already. We got Fly Jones in the building. Appreciate you, Fly Jones, for being here. We got Kingdom Minded here. You know what I'm saying? She already, you know what she said. Let me see if I can find it. Do I even have it on this side?
OGDoDirty, let me hear.
A whole fact. She said, OGDoDirty, let her hear. So, and then we also have Voltage in this thing. B-Baller is in this thing. Douglas is in this thing. Mayo is in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, we got our first guest sitting in the back. Let me go ahead and bring her up. We got Mama. Matter of fact, got to give Mama her intro when she come up here too. You know what I'm saying? As soon as she hit the thing, we got to. Matter of fact, if I can find it, do I got it on this side? Yeah, I do.
Sometimes in life, the odds are against you. But if you give it your all, if you do the best you can with what you have, you still might not be able to really do shit about
the best video on YouTube. How you doing, Mama? Let's see. She unmute. Is you muted?
She might have just stepped away for a quick bit.
Probably so. But She'll come in when she get here. But yeah, man, they just had a crazy conversation. I don't even want to go to that conversation or even bring that conversation up.
Nope, I do not. I do not want to
Yeah,
cover
we
that.
don't want to do that at all. Got to figure out a way. You want to create a banner for Kai and Tom so we can let everybody know if they want to support. They can. We're not putting our cash ups tonight. Our cash app up tonight. If you guys want to support Uncle Tom and Kai and the family, we. Matter of fact, I'll go in here and edit one of these out real quick, and then they can do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to throw a banner up so that way you guys will know where to cash app if you want to cash app. Do you already got one up?
Not here. Give me a quick moment and I can get one for you.
Okay. Russell throw it up for us in a minute. I seen his earlier. It was pretty nice. It's just came straight across. You know what I'm saying? They got all the information you need on there, what you're going to look for when you type in the Cash App and all that. So I like the way he did that. That way we don't have to ask, is this the right Cash App? You should know because you should see the name up there. And you can send that money directly to them. That'll help them out dearly. So, and appreciate everybody who is going to contribute tonight. Just let you know earlier, you solid. That's all I can tell you. And hearts go out to you because you don't have to do it.
Like, sorry, they're doing overnight work, so I'm like, I got trains screeching near me.
Oh, my fault, Boach. I'm over here.
No, it's not you. It's on my side. I don't know why they're doing late night work.
Oh, I'm over here. I forgot to drop the link for those. It is an open panel, so sorry about that. I didn't invite Mama up here without letting nobody else know the link so they can get ready to come up here. We will be pinning it to both channels, so I'm gonna put it in the. Now we moving. We got a lot of things we're trying to do at one time, so just be patient with us. We're getting it together. We'll start here soon.
So there goes the Cash App to Fiona Ash. That's Kai's sister. She'll be taking in donations for anyone that wants to be able to help out Uncle Tom and his family. In case you did not know, earlier this week they lost their house to a house fire, and we're trying to do whatever we can to raise funds for them to get back on their feet.
All right, the link is pinned onto my channel. It's gonna be pinned onto the rest of the channel for anybody want to come up. All right, bro. Coach, about to bring you up, my good sir. Just give me a second. You can come off camera if you want to. I see you on the Rich Collar. What's cracking, brother?
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How's it going, guys? How we all doing tonight?
Man, another insightful night, man, for another great show on the Drop By Discussions.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. That's what I like to hear, dude. I'm like newer to the Resla channel. I originally saw him through if y'all know Speakeasy, he's been through here before.
Okay.
But yeah, I kind of came from like Speakeasy's community, but like I subbed, I've been like tuning into the live streams and like I really respect it. Yeah, respect it. Like it's Drop By Discussions. I think it's a cool little tagline, for a stream, and it's also like it's just a cool break from like I'm so used to like fucking debates and shit, which clearly, I know y'all are like welcome to get into. But I'm more so, sometimes just for like the chill discussions and shit. And y'all seem to be having a lot of those, and I really respect that. So yeah, dude. I mean, just want to give like a shout out, say I fuck with y'all's channel, man. So yeah.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. And I'm out to holler at my boy Speakeasy, man, for sending some people over here. You know what I'm saying? Because I rock with Speakeasy pretty strong. I seen him a long time ago. I told Resla, man, I'm gonna look at this dude over here. We're gonna go check him out. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, he's been showing us love. So I'm just, you know what I'm saying, thankful to him too. And any time that we needed something, just like Resla said, man, when Tom and Kai went through what they went through, Easy came straight through. You know what I'm saying? No questions.
Yeah.
Didn't have. You know what I'm saying? He did what he needed to do, and I appreciate it for that. So yeah, man, you welcome anytime, bro. We have a lot of discussions. It's an open panel. We usually do it Tuesday, but this week was
sometimes falls on Thursday night going into Friday.
Yeah,
because life kicks in. But yeah, normally these are raw days.
Yeah, man. I just, I got off work. I was working late as hell today, but put in the work. Did the grind. Got off. Fucking showered, took care of myself. I saw Wrestle went live. I was like, fuck it, dude. I think I'll stop by and just like say what's up, And I don't really have any like topics. I don't know. I might have a few to bring up if y'all want to get into it, but I don't. Yeah, I just mainly just want to give that shout out first and foremost, because like yeah, dude, I love Speakeasy's channel, and that's the good thing, right, about like these discussions is that there's a lot of things that I agree with Speakeasy on, but like equally so, there's a lot of things that I do disagree with him on. But it's always good to just like talk it out, you know what I mean? Especially if you can do it in like somewhat of a calm, collective manner. Like we all like the blood sports, we all like the drama of like screaming and shit. But sometimes it's going to be way more productive if you just take a step back and you're just chill with it, and like you can. The way I look at it, you can go into conversations with like two different points of view. You're either willing to hear what the other person has to say, or you've already, shut that out, right? So that's like how I try to enter, discussions or like debates or whatever, like I try to keep an open mind. And sometimes
Absolutely.
on the internet, like they say, if you're too open-minded, then you're like fence sitting. I think that's bullshit, bro, because
That's
I think
not
it's always,
true.
yeah,
It's not true.
it's always good to like keep that open mind because,
I want to pick
you
your
never
brain
know.
real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Me and Resla agree with you on that. So, because I have a way of thinking about stuff that's kind of different from what Resla do, because we come from two different sides of the basically of the world, of basically of everything, but we see a lot of things in common. Even the stuff that we don't see in common, it's me and Resla, we can have conversations about stuff. So, if we all agree on that, why do you think that is?
Like, why do we agree that it's best to take a calm approach and stay open-minded? Is that kind of the question? I think it's because, I don't know. I think it might sound bold, but I think it comes down to intellect, and that's what differentiates people from having true intellect from other people who might lack it and will hopefully gain it someday, right? Where the smartest man in the room is never the loudest man in the room, and that 100% translates to the internet and all that shit. Even though sometimes people might get loud just because it's content, it brings in viewers and shit. But at the same time, like I think, and this is what I've garnered so far. This is why I like y'all's channel so much, is I can tell y'all are with it, and you guys are you're smart dudes. You've got the life experience to back it up, but you've also got just the general knowledge to kind of back it up. And the reason I think it's so important to keep an open mind, because like I don't know, the way I look at it is like, James Bond, he's like tactically smart, but he's also fucking very into like smart with his head, and he would be the type of guy where he's willing to sit back in the room while the other guys go off, and he's just going to kind of sit there like, all right, like kind of cooking on it a little bit, hear what this guy has to say, hear what that guy has to say. And then you form some sort of a medium in the middle, and then that's when you know to interject and get your point across. If that kind of makes sense. I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but
No. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. We got another guest coming to the panel. Let me go ahead and
OGDoDirty, let me hear.
that's a whole fact. What's good with you, my good sir? What's good with you, B Baller?
What's good with you? What's good? Good evening, Wrestler. Good evening, Mama. And a special good evening to Voltage Mike. I like that you were cooking out here. So keep cooking, my
thank
man.
you, bro. Thank you,
That's
man. I
a whole
appreciate it.
fact.
Before
got,
we get into that, yep.
Glenn.
We got Glenn Lawrence in the building, so those
Yo.
might have a way to offend people. Ooh, really?
Damn, Glenn. God, okay.
That's the LA slander. Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Okay. So me and Glenn go back a little bit. All right. I haven't called into his panels really at all that much lately. But yeah, no, me and Glenn kind of go back. I would like to think that I'm pretty tight with Glenn, aside from the I made some disparaging comments about Los Angeles a while back, and he's probably not going to forgive me for it, and that's okay. I don't know. There was one time I was up on Glenn's panel, and I got a little lost in the sauce, and I was rambling about like California and how it's going downhill. And, you know, I said I will just leave it at this. I'll say I did make some disparaging claims about Los Angeles, which, you know, if there were people who were, you know, hurt by those comments, i.e. Glenn, you know, I'm sorry about that, dude. You know, I it was just funny because I was rambling and I didn't know that Glenn was
I got you,
from
Glenn.
I didn't know he was from Cali like that.
All right, so
And if I
let
did,
me show him some love real quick.
OGDoDirty, let me hear.
The whole fact. Let me bring him up.
Let me just say, Mike.
Hold on, Glenn.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, Glenn. I got. Hey, you supporting the show, bro. We appreciate you because all this right here is going towards our friends, bro, who had a tragic house fire. So let me go ahead and get this for you. This is for my shade, man, for the $10 ball, dog.
I only want to slap Mike though.
It's cool.
that's fair. I probably earned it. I probably earned it, Glenn. I'll give you.
You
one
guys have
solid
no
smack.
idea. It was so funny. He's just sitting there so confident. He's like, man, fucking LA is disgusting. It smells like shit. The people there are shit. And I'm sitting there, yeah, tell me more. Tell me more about these LA folks.
It was funny.
And I'm sitting there, I'm twirling my knife in my hand on the camera, just looking. I'm like, come on, tell me more. He was oblivious to everything. He just got all confident. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute. Glenn, you're not from LA, are you? Oh, shit.
At least he said, "Oh shit, I will never."
It happens sometimes.
And then here's the other thing. Me and Mike were having a good ass conversation a couple other times, like a couple other streams later. And then I look over, I was like, you know what I'm saying, Mike? Mike is dead ass asleep with his head in his lap in his chair. I don't know how he did it and not fall over. Like he was all the way twisted.
That is facts. All right. So yeah, so I made up for the LA comment with my goofy sleep antics. Yeah, nah, shit.
How you doing, Mike? I see your hair has grown a little bit more.
It has. It has.
In haircuts, I see.
No, yeah, it's been a while since I talked with you, Glenn, bro. I hope you've been doing well. I'm sorry, I kind of made like a sudden disappearance from your channel and shit. Sometimes I just be doing that on the internet, like with my job nowadays. Like I get so focused on work and stuff, so I don't keep up as much. Like I dabble in all sorts of different communities.
Don't worry, I'll track you down like a baby mama looking for child support, just like I did tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm counting on it. I'm counting.
Or you guys could just use the drop die discussion for your little meetups. How about that?
Heck yeah, just come on over every time.
No, we cool. I haven't been doing much on my channel because I'm doing a lot of work and working on some other things and behind the scenes, and also working with Sirius XM radio and stuff. So that's why.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you, man.
Oh, Resla, my swag came in today. I got the shady stuff now.
Oh, look at him, fancy.
Yeah, I got the new slim stuff because it was like since I'm working for them, that's what they just did. So it's pretty cool.
Hey, you give me an idea. Now I'm gonna have to go to TV and tell that nigga man, say, hey, I need a big old banner and some more shit. I need something that's gonna pop.
I mean, like it's. I've noticed that the name of the game in content creation, it leans way more onto marketing and getting brand support than it does like if your content's fire. I mean, your content can be fire, but that doesn't generate as nowhere near as much as revenue flow.
Agreed.
Than having sponsors that provide you that revenue flow.
People don't believe me when I say that.
I know. They think like it's all super chats and stuff. Like, no, some of the biggest channels don't get no super chats. They don't care about the super chats. They care about the sponsorships.
And listen, I'm looking for the corporate dollars.
You hear me? That big money, that traveling money. Yep, man. Yeah, that's where it's at.
So, what did Hillbilly Jesus talk about earlier? That was so profound.
Hillbilly Jesus. Yo.
Oh, I mean Mike.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Good. All right. Fair enough.
I mean, your hair is so much longer, bro. Like, I don't know what you're doing with it.
Nah, I'm just living. We out here. Oh shit. Yeah, no, my mic's unmuted. Yeah, we out here living. Just living the life, bro.
That's good.
That is a good one. Hillbilly Jesus. I like that.
I've been busy trying to readjust. I just started with a new employer, so it's been really crazy.
That's good. That's good. I hope everything, falls into line for you, so you're not having to make too many changes to your life.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I'm gonna try to. If anything, I'm gonna try to ramp it up. It just might be shorter, but I'm gonna try to ramp it up.
I have been like looking into that. Long streams will bring you money over, time. And yeah, you may make some good money in 12 hours, but you're sacrificing time. That's the only currency
That's
you
a
do not
fact.
get back.
Nope.
And we have to train your audience like, hey, I'm only here for a limited time. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a short time. And you better catch it while the cooking is hot, right? And that's it. It's a
Absolutely.
risk. It's a risk that you as the creator takes, because you may not get that, couple extra dollars that you think that you're going to get if you stay longer. But you also lose out on life.
Yeah,
Absolutely
you
true.
know. And look, I remember us having a somewhat conversation, and then I was thinking to ask you too. So, would you say that's? I understand that we talking about lives and long term, long content. You know what I'm saying? 2-3 hours, maybe. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5, depending on like you saying, you want to work and make enough money to at least supplement that time that you're spending on it. You know what I mean? So if I tell you after we had that conversation, because I do another page too besides my OGDoDirty page. I got a whole fishing page, right? And I didn't want to do the live fishing. I got some on there, but most of those I didn't private it and took down because I noticed what you were saying. And I'm at the library looking for a editing book for dummies. You know what I'm saying? One-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Starting from the
I
grind,
can
because
teach you that in like 5 minutes. That
well,
shit is easy.
because I'm trying to push as much as but it makes sense from what you were saying. So I want to pose a question to the people on the panel. When it comes to content creation, would you stay in the live arena, or would you go to just the video form, or not even the short? Because we know what the shorts can do. Like I've just seen that work in mysterious ways, but we're talking about just videos, between videos and live streaming. Would you put that same concept, Glenn, to just regular videos? Would you do, like, instead of doing 20-minute, 30-minute videos, like would you think it would be more to still have that hour, 2 hour, but then break it down into 20 or 30? Or would you say just push 20 or 30s to get your point across, so you can see where you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'm really meticulous with my with things that I do, especially when I do my production. I prefer edited short, like non-live content. I like a production. I
Agreed.
like to make sure that my production is fire. Like, I don't like any mishaps or unnecessary, like avoidable, like mistakes, right, or glitches. I'd rather get rid of them. I want the product to be flawless. I mean, you should want that. You don't get that with a live. You're just never going to get a flawless show with a live stream. There's always that margin for error. But with the edited version, like where it's condensed, you do. Now, what do you lose though? There's a give and take here when you get to assess this. What people are looking for is to be able to break the fourth wall and to interact or have some form of ability to navigate the flow of the show or the flow of the conversation, right? That's why we got audiences in the chat. They send super chats. Their super chats we react to or we respond to. Now they have a role in the performance, right? And that's what a lot of people like about these live streams. So you do lose that when you go production only. But then you're like, okay, but the quality is much better. I may not get more. I don't get any audience interaction until they comment in the video, after on the video comments. But other than that, that's no interaction. But I do get better quality. So you have to look at it from, what do you want, more interaction or do you want better quality? And I think better quality is overall better. So I would rather go shorter, you know, no more than 2 hours on a video, ideally. And then even from there, 20 to 45 max on the low end. That's just looking at the algorithm. That's what seems like to be doing well with people. But your content has to be fire. It has to be like boom. You can't have any dull moments in that short video or those videos, because if there's a lull, then you lose people's attention.
Yeah, like I 100% agree with what Glenn's saying, and I kind of wanted to add on that by saying, you know, I'll fully give the disclaimer beforehand. You know, I have nowhere near like the success of like Glenn's channel or even Resla's channel, but from what I've been able to tell and from what I've been able to notice and garner, just like as a viewer, one of the biggest things, of course, is just consistency. So I think whether you're going to do live or you're going to do videos, you got to stay consistent. Just be consistent with it. It's an algorithm thing. So if you're going to do the videos and shit like that, if you're going to do videos only, that's fine. That's cool. Just keep it consistent. Upload, you know, no less than you got to upload at least once, like twice a week. I would recommend like at least like twice a week, you know, videos or something like that, just so you can kind of start to stay relevant in the algorithm. Also, kind of like Glenn said, dude, editing is everything, dude. Never a dull moment. And it sounds like a lot of pressure, but it's not. It just comes down to editing, you know, and like fucking, especially, you know, you're trying to attract if you're trying to attract younger crowds nowadays, which that's a lot of people who are on the internet, right? It's kind of like free real estate, you know, just getting their attention. So you just have to like, you know, use your editing to your advantage, find a way to grab their attention. There's a few different ways you could go about it, because I know a lot of like guys where they only live stream, they don't do videos, but the videos that they do on their channel are like clips from their live streams that they've edited down. So they're like, yo, here's this segment where this interesting shit happened. Here's this segment where I'm talking about this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, you just got to stay consistent with it, you know, try to do it like on the same day. Like just, you know, you set a goal for yourself. Like, hey, I'm going to upload every Sunday and every Wednesday, and I'm going to have it be at least like at minimum, like 12-minute video, go as long as like 30 minutes or whatever, you know, it's edited down. It's like for, you know, the content that's just normally where the hard part comes in, because editing can be kind of like a daunting task to learn, unless you want to pay someone to edit it for you. But at that point, depending how like large your channel has grown, that just might not be a feasible option, because, you know, you want to pay for good editing, you're going to have to pay good money. And at that rate, you know, you don't want to run your channel at a deficit where you're like not even breaking even, you know, if that makes sense. Yeah, man,
Well,
it's just, it just comes down to consistency.
Editing will make or break your video.
Oh my God, yes.
And so does your audio. Just, I don't care. You can have the best information. You can have the most fire content. Like everything you could say is just amazing. Your points could be solid. If you have shitty editing and shitty audio, nobody gives a fuck. They're not going to listen.
That's true. Like camera, yeah, I was going to say like your camera quality is somewhat disposable, but yeah, like have good mic quality, have good audio quality, you know. If you're like clipping down like an argument on your panel or something like that, if the other people who you're arguing with, if they have kind of shitty mics, it don't matter that much. But if you're the host, like it's they saw your video in the algorithm, they're going to click to watch what you have to say. If your mic is dog shit, bro, like they're just tapped out. They're like, fuck this. It's weird, but it's like, it kind of is what it is. So yeah, I would agree in that sense as well. Yeah, audio is 100% key.
Also, I know this sounds really like weird, but your decor. How does your scene look on screen? Do you have like, does it look like you're in some basement? You know, is that the vibe that you're trying to go for your show? Sorry, Mike, I wasn't talking about you. I didn't know you were in a basement.
Yeah, I'm in my grandma's basement. No, I'm kidding. But
or like, are you like Resla? I always give Resla his props, because his set looks really basic. It doesn't look like it's a lot. He has some books, you know, good color tones. You know, he has like I think the couch or the chair in the back, or just like accent. He has very good accent stuff, and he was really smart on how he put it together. It looks simple, but it actually is not. It's really it's soothing to the viewer that's watching this. He could be relaxed, and they're not relaxed, and they're not being distracted by anything behind him, and that is very important too. So the way that you're presenting on your screen really matters.
100%. Yeah. You're not like, you could hear a guy with really great debate tactics, but if his hair is greasy, if he's overweight, if his room has fucking takeout all over the countertops, dude, you're just like, dude, you know, it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's why they get so funny. We got like streamers that are so huge, like Asmongold, and this guy is like very disheveled, you know, he's got all this fucking junk around his crib, but like somehow,
dirty house.
like somehow he hit that sweet spot in like that Twitch algorithm, right? And Twitch is a different game for the most part, and I really respect you guys for like doing your shit on YouTube, because I just think YouTube's the better platform ultimately, but it's a little bit harder sometimes to like find that kind of sweet spot, because there's something weird about Twitch. If you're multi-streaming, that's totally cool. That's totally fine. And I would argue, you know, if you're gonna primarily be a streamer and that's like gonna be your bread and butter, at some point you should look into multi-streaming, you know, on the different platforms, so you're just live on different places all at once. Just because, you know, there's some people where they're like, well, I don't want to fuck with YouTube, I want to fuck with Kick instead, and you're like, okay, well, cool, I'm live on Kick, you know, come support, right? And just have the door open just in case, if your you know, computer is able to support all that kind of stuff. It's just it's very multifaceted, but it kind of just comes down to my other point, like I was bringing up earlier. Like, I do think the biggest part is just consistency, you know, because
Consistency is key. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Like, you're training your audience. Your audience is expecting to see you normally at this time. So when they don't see you at this time anymore, then they can't find you. They don't think you're reliable. You're not here to entertain them. So
Yeah,
guess
they
what?
find
Then they're going to
another
go somewhere else. And then you know what? When people get stuck with, they tend to like where they're at because this person is consistent. He may not be as funny as you, or maybe not as entertaining, or may not have the best points or talking points as you do, or showmanship. But you know what? They're consistent. And I know that this person is always on. So you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to stay here. That's how people are. So consistency is huge. What I was going to say about on top of consistency, and you mentioned YouTube, was you may not see me be streaming very much on YouTube because there's another platform, and I will tell everybody later once things are verified and solidified. But YouTube's not going to be the big show in town very long, and I'm saying within the next year and a half, 2 years, YouTube is probably going to be still big, but there's another platform right now that is making major moves, and it was a dead platform, and it's
Rumble.
No,
Yeah.
it is not Rumble. Rumble needs to get this shit together.
The moment I say it, you be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, don't give it to him yet, Glenn. Don't give it to him just yet.
don't.
Wait, is it MySpace?
No, hell
Oh,
no.
it's not my
But let me get these super chats out the way. We had John the Baptist come in with the $10. He said, "What's up, Ritter Wrestler?" He told me what's up on my page. Appreciate you, John the Baptist, for going to both pages. If you ain't subscribed to the OGDoDirty page, at your search at the top, just type in OGDoDirty. Just how you say it, OGDoDirty, at OGDoDirty. It'll bring you straight to my page. If you on my side of the game and you need to find Wrestler, just type at Wrestler at the top of your search bar. His picture, his icon will pop straight up there. Go to it and subscribe, man. Oh yeah, we got Mayo Monkey came through with the $10. You know what I'm saying? He said a salute challenge. That's what he just threw at us. So let me go ahead and celebrate those guys for coming through with the cheddar with the biscuits.
Man, fuck all you hoes, all you hoes, all you hoes, all you hoes, all you hoes. Man, fuck all you hoes, all you hoes, all you hoes, all you hoes, all you hoes.
Appreciate you, Mayo and John the Baptist, for making that money rain on me and Russ. Appreciate y'all.
God, I'm really trying to sit here and think on what platform Glenn is talking about. I wish he'd leave us a trail of breadcrumbs, bro. I want to fucking crack this like the Scooby-Doo fucking mystery gang, bro. What's this platform that might pop off? Like, damn, you know?
And you'll figure it out when it's just keep on thinking about it. It'll hit you one of these times. Just let it ponder on your brain a little bit. You'll be all right. So what interesting conversations before we go into anything else have you guys had that you guys want to bring to the drop-by discussions and we can discuss? Anybody had anything interesting they have been talking about? Because we've been talking about different stuff on different pages, and I know everybody kind of getting a talk on my side of YouTube. So I haven't been traveling around YouTube, so I want to know what the talk is out there. What we talking about nowadays?
Damn. I had something earlier I was thinking about bringing up to you guys, but it's very it's like a meta kind of topic, but I think you guys might fuck with it if I may kind of bring it up to the table here. What are your guys' thoughts on music, like streaming platforms? Do you think that like streaming platforms like Spotify have kind of sucked the soul out of music, you know, like back in the day when you'd throw a fucking vinyl on and you'd, you know, let it ride out the whole way through, you know, you'd have the inner sleeve, you'd like read the fucking lyrics and shit like that. Do you think that everything being so just in the palm of your hand all the time, do you think it's kind of taken that magic out of like listening to music? Maybe it's a stupid conversation or a stupid topic, but I kind of want to hear y'all's thoughts on it.
Well, it's an interesting one for sure. I'm not sure if it's due to like Spotify and things like that. I think a lot of people, I don't know. It depends on which angle you're looking at it from. Whether you look at it from the mainstream media kind of thing, like the production media, people who do like music labels, and then also you have to look at like AI. The idea that people have been able to generate and create music very more more efficiently, that might be part of it as well. Maybe people have become more interested in making music than listening to music more than any other time in history.
Yeah.
That could be playing a part in it.
Yeah, I guess a better way to rephrase it is just that, like, do y'all think that, like, and I know this is very kind of meta and like open-ended or whatever, but it's like, do y'all think that the advancements in technology over time have sucked the soul out of music, or do you think that we've still got it and it's just more rare nowadays?
That's everything, though. It's not just music. Technology has a way of washing down everything.
True. I would agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it sucked the soul out of it. I mean, when I was I would say about 25 years ago, we used to get our music and it was one of two ways we got it. We would have to go to a music store and get a single or like you said vinyl, but
Actual
I used to
vinyls,
get my
yeah.
yeah, but for me I used to live in the city and I used to go get mine on like a either a mixtape
Or a
or a
single.
single or a
Yeah.
single where you would just go get that one song and you started to appreciate that one song and you just like vibed with that. It made figuring out what music you like it was a more intimate thing. Now you go out, you can stream whatever you want. You get a lot of stuff that you probably don't want. I think the whole intimacy thing is just gone with me. It's not personal anymore.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I got two different things. I'm gonna say to that point that B-Baller is saying, I agree with him on that. But on the business side of the game, I think that I would say it would hurt. It hurted them in a certain type of way, but they gained a lot of reach for the future of what they can do with it, because now everybody is going to be tuned into it. And it's to the point now when some people wasn't into everything. Now they putting it on. Everybody can hear every choice of music. You can get down with anything. Everybody is switching from style to style. So if you want to say the technology part messed up the business part of it for right now, yeah, but in the future it's going to be great because that's what their livelihood is going to be based off of. I mean, it's they're gonna make hella money off of music. Right now, they having problems with streaming and all that shit, and trying to figure out where all the stuff is going, especially for the people who's making the music. But we know the people who own the music and the people who distribute the music, that's a whole different other case. They making money on top of money, but it's not all the way solid like it was back then when it comes to what, like I say, B Baller said again, grabbing stuff from vinyl, having a meaning of music to have a reason for you to go get it.
You know where else? Oh, I'm sorry.
You can just listen to it on YouTube. You can listen to it on YouTube, but never go get it ever in your life. Or because you don't have to listen to the radio no more. YouTube is better than the radio. YouTube is better than your iPod. YouTube is everything when it comes to music. Because I mean, you can constantly play it without even paying for it, so you get it instantly free.
Yeah, but you know what? You know another bad part about streaming and YouTube and SoundCloud and all these other platforms is that those who are not qualified to do it now have access and accessibility to do it, and they're putting their stuff out there, and it's messing up. It's screwing some of the game up. Like there's some people that just shouldn't be doing it, and they're out there doing it, and they're messing up see, this is the problem I also have with AI. When you start putting this stuff out there, you start to skew what good music is. Like people start looking at bad music like it's good music, and you're killing what was normally good music. And I know that people are going to go, well, people dictate what is good music, so it is what it is. But there's a lot of junk I think that's coming out that's really messing up the game.
Yeah, that's a fair point, right? Like okay, so something I would ask you is like you said that there are certain people who shouldn't be qualified to do it. Just for, the topic of conversation, I would ask you like what would your qualifications be, if you were to look at this guy and be like, hey, he's not qualified to release like this kind of music, like what would that look like, right?
I won't even look at like certain artists. I'll look at certain things that happen. So let's think about like when you guys remember that that newscast where the guy was his sister was getting they looked in his house and he, the newscaster came out to him and he was like they climbing in our windows and they did that, and then you started to get somebody that had some skills with music, and they mixed it up, and now this was something that was coming popular, and now you're getting things that weren't really songs that were being put out there. Like,
are you talking about like YouTube edits, kind of like the whole
yes,
what's that one song I'm thinking of, like the black dude like that's on the news,
Anton, Anton,
Dead Giveaway, that song, is that what you're talking about?
No, not Get Dead Giveaway. I think it was like
He talking about that one dude that was talking about hide the people and all the babies and stuff, and they made a remix.
Hide your kids, hide your wife,
hide your kids, hide your wife.
Right. Gotcha. So that was never meant to be music, but then it became something that was music, and you're getting a lot of that. And then you also start getting these guys that come out. Like if you scour YouTube and you scour some of these other places, you get some people that just don't know. That's just is awful. Like for instance, OG and Tom, we go and we look at we do something. He does something called Rate These Bars, and we go out there and we could easily find people that think they can do something, and they get out there and do something, and it is trash. It is trash, but
fair. Yeah, fair. I just think the term qualify is just very kind of like, not to full on, I'm not trying to turn this into some like full on debate or anything. I just think that the term qualify kind of might make the muddies watered a little bit, because like me as a musician, dude, like I play guitar, I make beats and shit like that. I think that everyone is qualified to make music, but I feel like it's up to the audience to like be able to tell the difference, right?
Right,
between what's authentic, what's not. And if they want to listen to shit that's not authentic, that's just them. That says more about them than it does about you.
So I think the point of contention that we're having, and it's not really a big point, it's just I don't think you seeing what he's saying I can see where you're coming from it. I think I can explain it to you better. Uncle Fatty put it in there, and it came straight to my mind. So I highlight what he said. He said, "Don't forget about the Island Boys." So when
Oh, there
he
we go.
say, not qualified, basically what he's saying is, you a musician. You work on your craft. If you
Right.
play bass guitar, if you play anything, and just say if you're a vocalist, right, and you put those two together, most people don't know how talented you would be, sir, to write your own music, to come up with your own riffs, your own everything. You finishing your beginning of the song, even in your middle, because you know when you making music, you gotta have it, gotta go up levels and come back down. You know this, so when you do stuff like that to get popular off of Island Boys, I'm just an island boy. That's not to you, and for other people, it
Thank you.
became, and not and even me and some other people around the world, it
Yep.
became fashion because it was funny, but it wasn't. They said by the way it was getting streams, they used it as a song, but to us, it was
Yeah.
just a funny vine. So that would
Got
be the
you.
part where he mean by like qualified. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Correct.
two different rams. You got one that's music and one that's it's still music, but not in the part of where you do it from the authentic way of making your own music. You know what I'm saying? Like they made it, don't
Yeah.
get us wrong, but it was, think about this. They got a song, they had a church song that came out, and I'm about to be through, and I'll let y'all have I'll give it to y'all. I had it to y'all. It was one of my favorite songs. I love listening to it now. It's this chick, Shirley Caesar. She had this song, I got greens, beans, tomatoes, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
All balls.
Yep.
Say one of the best songs out there right now. They chopped and screwed that thing so tight I can listen to it in my Jeep on my 15s and be happy I'm riding to it. So I get what he's saying by the difference of somebody remixing something, but he's talking about, you know, back in the day, you really had to be qualified. You just couldn't just go in there and think you can play and make music when you really wasn't a musician. You wasn't a vocalist. Like you had to be able to sing to even get a record deal. You had to be able to play something to even be in somebody's band. To work for James Brown, you had to put work in. To sing with Aretha Franklin and them, or to sing with somebody like a background singer for the Shirley, for
Sugar
Reba
Hill Gang.
McEntire or something like that, Sugar Hill Gang, anybody who did it from country to what you want to say, jazz, anything, you had to be able to have vocals. So, but now you can come on there and just sound like us up here and get popular on YouTube and make tons of money off something that they ain't even a real song. They don't really have no vocals to it.
I mean,
Yeah,
but they
that
said the same thing for techno. They said the same thing for EDM. So it
I,
is
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
a
was
they
lot.
did.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, like, real quick, that it does make sense when you put it into that kind of that wording and shit. So I appreciate the elaboration in that respect,
Oh, no
right?
problem, bro.
And I think what that kind of got me to realize is that, so I think I'm sorry, I don't know your name, like other dude on the panel I was talking with here. I'm sorry, I get my
Oh,
that
OG
Oh,
Do
I'm
Dirty
B
and B
Ball.
Ballin. That's B
He's B
Ballin. I'm
Ball.
OG Do Dirty.
yeah. So it kind of comes into a different discussion of like people nowadays, for the clout, for the money, for the whatever. There's lots of people making music in bad faith. I think that's what it
Correct.
comes at. So you look at Island Boys, for example, that's a perfect example of like they're making music, but it's in bad faith. So that bad faith right there, you know, is enough to like disqualify them per
Right.
se, right? So I, in that regard, yeah, I would agree with that. So
I,
I think that's the term kind of, right, is that bad faith. There's people who are making music in bad faith, and that's not what music's supposed to be about. Music is supposed to be creative. It's supposed to be different ideas going on, people bouncing off each other. But yeah, the bad faith thing, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
so I'll go a step further, and I think I've had this discussion once before on this same uh, show. So where it pertains to AI, so my trade is I'm an animator. I've studied art for about 10, 15 years. I know animation in and out from 2D to 3D. That's what I do. AI has made it so that everyone can now do some kind of form of animation or any kind of art. AI has made it that way. So what happens is when people do that, and I get that it's easier, but what it does is, just like yourself, who is a trained musician, the trained artist knows how things work, right? The novice just hits a couple buttons, and it's beneficial to them, but to the artists, it loses something. And then if that art that is created via AI becomes what people start to like as the standard, it sort of it sort of dumbs down the trade or the craft. So I think streaming and technology as a whole, it's going to continue to do this. It's going to drown out. It's going to drown everything out, and then you're not going to really know what's good and what's not. And something that you would have thought would have been awful back in the day may start to become good, and it's going to change what we think. It's going to change norms. So it's going to take away. It muddies the skill set, but it also changes what we view as good art or good music or good, whatever it is.
Don't you think that happened with the advent of autotune, though?
Yes, it did.
I mean, you had a lot of really bad vocalists that, through the advent of autotune, could sound really good. It worked itself out though, because when you would go to their concerts, they had no voice, and so people stopped paying, stopped going to the concerts, stopped buying albums. Do you think this, even like with the AI, do you think it'll kind of work itself out? People will be able to figure out, hey, this guy's a real singer songwriter.
Um,
This
Time will
band's been
tell.
put to, you know.
Yeah, well, time will tell, because even with music, AI is making big advancements in music as well. Because you can get you can create songs from artists that are dead, and it sounds like they're alive
Yeah.
right now. So I mean, AI is going to change a bunch of things, and we have no idea. I have no idea where that's headed. But you're right with the auto tune, and you could tell with the auto tune. And Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You could tell when auto tune was done correctly and when auto tune was done poorly.
I would agree. And I think, yeah, Homegirl brings up some good points on the panel as well, right? So here's the thing. Here's what I was originally going to say to you, but I've kind of thought on it a little bit, but I'll still say my original point. I
Mhm.
had to mute real quick. I had to go take a leak.
No
Down a
worries.
little six pack here. But nah, man. So I would like to think, and maybe this is just me, my hopeless optimism, like me being human and shit like that, right?
Yes,
I would
sir.
like to think that AI music will never be the standard, because there's something about humans coming together, putting that shit together. There's a lot of soul that goes into it. Like there's a whole category of music called soul, but at the same time, it's like every piece of music that's authentically made, even if it's like Metallica thrash metal in the 80s, dude, that shit's got some soul to it, because these are guys who like poured their fucking, they poured everything into it, right? So I was originally going to say I don't think that'll ever be the standard. However, you are right in the sense that just AI in general is like developing so much so fast
So
that
quickly.
maybe, yeah,
Hmm.
so quickly, man, like that eventually maybe, yeah, because you're right, you could fucking put into AI right now, hey, give me little Richard singing a song about fucking, or doing a cover of Led Zeppelin or something, and then it'll happen. They'll make that. It's just I think that just kind of takes it into a different area of conversation, right? In terms of like the AI stuff, which we all know, it's getting better. It's creeping up. I do think it is scary. It's scary for people anywhere in the art world right now, especially for
Right.
digital artists, because right now, still pictures, no audio, it's already taken out like a lot of jobs of people who work from home and they do art for a living, and they might make
Hmm.
profile pictures, they might make banners for people on YouTube, they make logos for a poster or something like that, and now you can just do all that for free on your phone, and it brings into it just brings into the conversation like is that okay? Is that right? Should they have the right to do that? I don't know necessarily. I you know, I hate what it's doing to people's jobs, but at the same time, I'm like, does it have the right to exist? Arguably, yeah, but arguably no. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to fence it too much, but it is definitely a very interesting point to bring up. And also just to touch on the autotune thing, yeah, I do think that some people have used autotune correctly. However, I do understand the counterpoint, right? Is just that like you have someone who can't sing for shit, they plug in some autotune, now they can sing, and that's why some people look at like rap as like a lesser form of music nowadays, because you know you have some guy and he's got solid bars that he writes down, but they're like, okay, let's transport this guy, let's get him in the studio, there's a beat there, you know, and just have him fucking do his thing on it, you know, they might auto tune it a little bit. It just like it's very, yeah, it's like open ended, but it's definitely like very valid. Like it's something worth talking about. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
And let me
if
say
you
this about that.
oh
Okay,
sure.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go
No, no,
ahead.
no, no, no. I had my chance. Go ahead, OG. I'll
Okay.
come after
Well,
you.
let me say this. Let me say this about the auto tunes. You never know if the auto tunes sound wrong, sir, until they hit your ears. Now,
Okay.
everybody's version of that, and I kind of agree with what y'all saying, but y'all forgetting that even if you do hear something that doesn't sound right, and they have to use auto tunes to incorrectly make you sing, that doesn't mean that you couldn't sing before. It's just you was able to change the level of whatever you presented through your voice and your voice box to get that sound to come out. So even when it
Yeah.
comes to AI, right, and using auto tunes, it's going to be way easier for AI to do something more than a human, because AI can probably do every tone you can think about in every degree. What I mean by degree is when you go and flip a song, when you chop and screw a song, you can turn the tempo down, you can turn the person down, you can slow them up, slow them down. That makes everything change. You can change how their voice is. Once you do that, you can do that in so many variations to where you can find something that will cling to the ear. And that's what AI is going to be able to produce, which mass produce, which is going to make it harder on people who's out here making the craft, because we know as you do music, it takes you time to get to greatness. You will have something and you work on it time after time to get it to that greatness. AI is able to do that like instantly.
Yes.
That's the
And,
fucked up part about it. So yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm gonna also repeat this. I'm gonna say this. So with the invention of AI, auto tune, all of these things that make it easier, when you make it that easy for everyone to do it, what happens is when everyone knows how to do everything, then no one knows how to do anything. Like no one knows how to do anything. Like everybody is the same, right? So now, where are the real skills happening? Can we
So
like
so
if
yeah, I know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, please jump in on that.
I was gonna say, my ultimate conclusion, or at least my hope, right? It comes down to the classic saying, "Real recognize real." So that like maybe it got me into this like even bigger thought that I was having is like maybe AI and the development of AI is going to be the ultimate test of those who still know good music, and then they hear people coming out doing it authentically, doing it, you know, without like arguably cheating, you know, through AI and shit like that or whatever the hell. Because you know, fucking homeboy brought up a good point too, where he was talking about you know, fucking uh people who sing with autotune and shit, they're still putting it into that. Even if the autotune is just getting them like a half step up to like maybe where the note is supposed to be, they're still singing, they're still doing this, this and that. You know, they're putting in that effort to make the music because genuinely deep down they want to make that music, you know. And yeah, I respect that, you know. That's the parts of autotune that I really respect and I get down with. But maybe it's like maybe the whole AI music thing that's going on is just going
Oh
to
shit,
be
I didn't
maybe
even see you back there, Clue. Shit. Hey, well, let me wake up. Let me get Clue to come up here real quick, y'all. I didn't even know he was sitting back there.
OGDoDirty, let me hear.
That's a whole thing. What's good with you, Clue? Sorry about that, y'all. I had him sitting back there. I hope I ain't had you sitting back there too long, brother. I've been over here looking at
No,
yourself.
I've just been back there for like 10 seconds. You're pretty
Oh,
fast.
okay, cool.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the ultimate litmus test. You know what I mean? Like for people to kind of, like I said, real recognize real. And at this point, it's gotten so, it's literal real, like real music. Real people will recognize real music, and as opposed to like just listening to AI shit that they get down with. Because yeah, dude, it's like AI. If you looked at the state of like Chat GPT, Bing AI with their Google, like their image generators and shit like that, if you looked at it like a year ago, 2 years ago, it was like terrible. It wasn't shit. But now it's like just developed so much in such a short span of time. So at this point, like hypothetically 10 years from now, yeah, dude, the music might be like insane. And a lot of people might get down with that, but you're gonna have people, that are like, rather than, oh, have you listened to fucking this new random, oh, he just came up on YouTube and he's this and that. It's like, nah, dude, I listen to fucking I listen to Kendrick Lamar, I listen to fucking Al Green, I listen to Aretha Franklin, dude. Like, real will recognize real at the end of the day. And it might become a minority in the grand scheme of things, but maybe in the grand scheme of things, it might be a good thing for people like us that like that just are real ones. You know what I'm saying? And
I'd have to
does that make
see it.
sense?
Yeah, I'd have to see it, but I will say that there is a lot of AI that's integrated in things that most people don't even know it's integrated in. So it's already doing what it's a slow it's slowly seeping in and you don't even know it. So it's having more of effect than most people think. So even if you don't think it is, it is. It technically is. And when you start getting some of this other and we're going to go back to the Island Boys, I would agree with you that the real stuff will seep through if I didn't see so much garbage coming through and people enjoying it, and it just feels like, as people recognize, even in some of these spaces on YouTube, when you have some good content and then you just have people that just come up there with some garbage content. They don't get much now, but once you start flooding it with more and more bad content, there's going to be so much, it's going to flood everything out. It's just going to drown everybody. And it makes it harder for you guys to actually rise. The good content, it makes it harder for you to rise because there's just so much out there that you got to swim through.
I was at Taco Bell last year, and I heard BBL Drizzy playing at Taco Bell. I knew that was the end. And the cashiers were lip syncing the song, and I'm like, okay, the record labels are dead. People are creating their own music. They're creating their own music, and what you're gonna have is you're gonna have some UPS worker with the fucking Grammy because he created an AI on his day off. That's what's gonna happen. Is that time is coming soon.
I mean, I see that we have some connoisseurs of things. I know that Mike, you probably are a connoisseur of music. I know that OG is a connoisseur of hip hop and rap. I'm a connoisseur of animation. I don't know what Clue is. I'm sure Wrestler is and Mama has. But if you look now at what you see out on the market, like, has it gotten better or has it really gotten worse?
What's on the
'Cause to
market
me,
is worse. Music is
right.
dead. The industry is dead. That shit that's been coming out the last 10 years is horrible.
Which industry are you talking about?
Your industry, whichever one you want to talk about, Wrestler. I can tell you that not so much with the animation industry, but I see where it's headed, right? Because the true animators are still out there. The bad animation is still on a lower level, and it's, you see things with like 6 fingers on the internet, characters with like 6 and 7 fingers on a hand, and it moves choppily, but it's moved so quickly that I could see where it's going to be in the next 5-10 years. but music wise, I mean, you don't right now. I can hear DMX. I can go on ChatGPT. I can go on some of these AI things and have a song. I could have it prompted and a song in the style of DMX, and then put the voice of DMX, and basically have a song from DMX come out right now.
So
We all know.
let's get down to brass tacks, right? So
Let's
what do you
do
think
it.
what do you think should be done about it? Do you think they should just ban AI?
No,
Not gonna happen.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It is here,
So,
and there's
so what?
nothing I
Let's
can
No,
do.
don't ban
bring up
AI.
what are some things that we can do to talk about to either regulate or limit to promote authenticity within different industries?
Artists need to be better than AI, wrestler.
You can't.
You need to be better. All these
can't.
popcorn artists, no more.
Sir, Clue. It's easy.
Chat GPT can do
No,
what's her name? Sexy
Clue,
Red can do.
Clue,
Chat
is it-
GPT can do that.
Easy as saying this. When was the last time you used a typewriter?
The last time, 1986.
So that means you've been using a keyboard ever since.
Yes.
It's the same shit now. Nobody's
that the
using
same?
typewriters.
It's the same process, same.
Like in terms of
from it.
technology, I think in terms of technology is what Wrestler's referring
Okay,
to, right?
so what Wrestler saying we moved on from the typewriter so that we could have a keyboard, and maybe moving.
Yeah, but
on
the
from
keyboard did not
past-
replace the writer, though. You still have to be able to fucking
Good
write.
point. Good point.
That's what I'm saying. These artists need to be better than AI if they want to have a career. No more Sexy Reds. No more Lil Nas X's and those untalented motherfuckers. You have to actually have talent now, because AI can do what you. I can prompt somebody to do what they do.
Because what we did, I can't forget who he said, but he was saying it to Amber Rose, like, no talent is the new talent.
Yes.
AI is going to kill that. You have to actually have talent.
No, wait, sir. Nobody likes Sexy Red because they actually think she's sexy. She has no skill in my mind. It's because she says raunchy shit. I don't know why.
Get ChatGPT to say the same
I
thing.
might piss some people off in the chat. I don't see anything appealing about Cardi B. Now,
I don't either.
Nicki Minaj can get a nut, but Cardi B, I'm not interested.
Yeah, so the artists have to be better.
But
they have to actually be talented.
Turn around and say that Cardi B be spitting the hot shit, but okay, cool. But who promotes?
That's what it comes down to, right?
Did
So
they do
here's
the hard
thing.
work? Let's be honest. When we think of somebody like Eminem, right? He did the hard work to become who he did. How many people get put up just because they're a face? And the same thing, you can look at the same thing for AI. You can say, I mentioned earlier, EDM and even techno. Like, you have people that are willing to work really hard for this. But EDM now, you can have a whole EDM rave. What is that person really doing? It's not classic DJing.
It's not
like
just pushing
a
buttons.
A lot of us came up from the age from when the artist would congratulate and celebrate the DJ being there. Now it's the other way around. The DJ is the background motherfucker. The artist is the one being celebrated.
Will
Anyone
Smith
can
wasn't
give
shit
up.
without Jazzy Jeff.
Not anymore. Where's Jazzy Jeff now?
He's on
Will's about to
YouTube.
drop a whole new shit.
He's on YouTube, spinning on
A whole
YouTube.
new shit. Will Smith's about to drop a whole new shit, and I'm not gonna lie, sounded kind of fire. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, I gotta listen to this.
This
I gotta listen to this.
He
What's
could've
wrong with you,
done it.
wrestler?
It will be on Rate These Bars. Nigga, 'cause I'm gonna let you
I'm
know
not
that.
gonna lie. For what he dropped, that was just supposed to be a freestyle. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
And
I also
see,
have to
I can-
forget. I also forget who I'm talking to, because some of that shit that y'all listen to that y'all say is fire. I don't be paying attention to. I don't be digging into this.
I know it. You know, but that's as long as they ain't talking about all that. As long as they don't do nothing to try to be gangster, bro, I'll be cool.
Oh no, he wasn't.
Well, see, I
So he
can
gonna
think-
say-
Come on, we know Will Smith doesn't do that, and
So he gonna sound like he can't.
No.
But Jazzy Jeff made his
He's
music
never what?
career.
But Will Smith has never sounded like Nick Cannon. Keep it a buck.
And see, I can think of a couple of old artists who couldn't sing worth a damn, but their skills for writing and playing were so good that people will, their music will never be forgotten. And you guys know who they are. Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson.
Yeah, and like it kind of goes into like
Did you see what Uncle Fatty put? He said ChatGPT ain't shit, but Suno and Udio is the shit.
I love Suno.
That's AI.
I love
It's
Suno.
AI.
Yes,
Now he said
AI,
GPT. Yeah. He said he was comparing GPT to Suno and Udio,
which is not even close to being the same. And plenty of people are still using GPT. Keep in mind, GPT's getting his ass kicked to the new Chinese one, DeepSeek. DeepSeek is kicking its ass, even though I wouldn't touch it if I were you guys.
I don't support anything Chinese. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Sure.
But
this is why I say your people won't be losing their jobs to ChatGPT. They'll be losing their jobs to people who understand how to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, so like a big thing too. I mean, music specifically. You know, I understand like AI has a whole threat to like art in general, but with music, it in general, it doesn't help that the whole industry has been really like on a. It was always very predatory in terms of like contract deals and all this shit, where the artists don't even own their own music. That this has been happening for a long time, right? And nowadays, you know, so like Homegirl brought up a very good point where she was talking about how there would be someone who couldn't even really sing. However, they put their soul into their music and people would listen to that and they were like,
Mary J.
I fuck with
Blige.
that, you know? Like, you know, they're like, hey, I'm still going to. Yeah. And they would, they would still buy their shit. So then record labels looked at that and they're like, okay, cool. Well, that's the thing. But nowadays, like record labels don't care about like, the only thing they care about is clicks, you know? And for a while they've cared about money, of course, but they only care about clicks and engagement and who's popular, who's doing this, who's doing that. And that's why part of the reason like I even brought up the music discussion is because when I look up like artists nowadays, you know, I look at them, you know, back in the day, you know, like the heyday of like rock and roll, soul, whatever, you know, like Curtis Mayfield, shit like that, right? They would make an album, like an album was like a whole story that it had to tell, where you'd start at the first song.
Can we mention something that's just as important though? You know, because we mentioned ChatGPT, we mentioned AI, we mentioned artists, but I think there's something that's very much important that you guys are not paying attention to.
Consumer,
the actual listener, they don't understand what music is,
right?
Because they're the ones who buy, they're the ones who participate.
Well,
An artist can make music. If the people who are listening to it are not the ones to push it, to recommend it, it doesn't matter.
Right, and that's where flooding the airwaves with garbage is a problem, because now the consumer is inundated with this. They're pushed with this, and now they think this is what's good. So yeah, you've now screwed the consumer up too.
What's good? So for instance, when we went to school, so for instance, you do animation, Voltage, you say you do music, and people pick up their own different type of music. When I first started in music, I started learning piano. Eventually, it turned into violin. But you know what I learned? Violin didn't get me laid, so that shit dropped.
I was on the drum line, so I got laid pretty well.
No.
If you can make the booty shake with your instrument, then you're getting laid in high school. Sorry.
No, there was no.
Yeah.
There was no vibratos in my shit. It wasn't happening. So and I still got one number damaged, but I still got 2 violins, and I'm like, I don't bother with it. I just don't. But also the concept of understanding music theory. It's not something that's really shown anymore, unless people who go to a specialized school. People don't understand They don't understand, and they don't.
You actually do need music theory.
No, no,
though,
no, no,
a
no. I do.
baller.
I know you need it. Just like you need art principles. You need it, but you can
But
get
the
away.
point, but the
You
point
can
is
get
that,
away without
it's
knowing
an
it.
elective now. It used to be something that they try to introduce you early as an art.
Because music
Well,
theory
because
branches out into mathematics. They're both
Yeah,
No.
related.
you're
Both
preaching
of
to
them.
the
music,
choir about the importance of it. I get it. I'm just saying nowadays you can get by without it.
You can, but
yeah, you
Right.
can.
would you
Yeah,
want to though?
I
No,
that's
but
don't,
they
but
are.
apparently
It's not a
dude,
matter of
they
bro,
want
are.
to can.
bro,
Okay, I
because
get it. I got it.
yeah. So here's the thing. Like, let me cook real quick, right? So like, if you can sit down, you can get with a musical instrument, and you can become good at that. What does that show? Not just that you're good at playing music, which is a very cool thing on its own. It's fucking discipline, dude. It's
Discipline. There it
discipline.
is.
And
Yes.
let me cook even further, right? Why do everything, dude? When they go to build an album nowadays, it doesn't even really matter. Like, the studio doesn't care about an artist crafting an album unless they're already popular because they've had several hits. Why do the audience, why does the consumers, why do they gravitate towards hits? ADHD society, dude. I don't know what
Yes.
happened, but like everybody's got ADHD nowadays. And I'm not saying
Be-
that's a good thing or a bad thing for the sake of the argument, right? I'm just saying that everybody's just so
Because of
focused on like, okay,
TikTok.
what's going to give me this? Yeah.
Well, you know what?
the
So
I heard.
internet is
Everybody's
bad.
got TikTok brain. That's what it
I heard.
is.
I heard this conversation before in some retrospect, and somebody said something to me, and I never think I was gonna think about this until it just hit me. People have been always looking for something that's gonna be the next new thing, right? And I know that we want to talk about respecting the artistry of music, whatever. But even when people started talking about the quote art of scratching records, it's fucking noise. But people
it's different.
wholeheartedly embraced it.
It's different with records though. It just is. Like, that's my personal belief, right? I'm not here trying to act like it's the universal truth, but it's like, I think to a certain degree there's some validity to be had within that argument, right? Where like, between a kid, like, you're not a kid. I shouldn't use a kid as an example, because if a kid comes across good music and they like the good music, they should have the right as a human to enjoy the good music, right? But there's just something, I don't know, it's like the it factor, right? That, when you put in the hard work, you go to the record store, you buy the record that you've been looking at
Yes.
on the shelf for a bit, you
Yes.
take it home with you, you're like so giddy all the way home, you fucking throw it on there, you hear that little record scratch. There's something just more like, it's not only more rewarding, but it's just more so, it's like when you eat, it's like cooking a home cooked meal as opposed to like getting fast food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
And
think that's the
You
best
you
analogy
own.
I could use.
You feel
I'm
like
gonna
an
say
owner.
that I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it feels like that, depending on your generation.
That's what it is. So here's the
If
deal.
if
Here's the deal. That what you value, that richness, that discipline, that deep rooted, everything about the hardcore that you have to go through for music. Think about everyone else that's consuming music. They've probably watched TikTok and watched a trend that had some stupid, goofy song that played on it, and then that's what they start to like, and that plays in their head, and now that is what they're going for. So all of that good music you have,
But,
there's
but we've done it with all the older ones, right? A lot of us got to understand, if we didn't have parents that played it when we were coming up, a lot of us got to understand what old hits sound like because of what? The days of Puffy and all his fucking remixes. That's how we got to
right.
understand what those films were, what those
Or
actual songs were.
or just like the TikTok before our current generation. I wouldn't call it TikTok because it's not as like attention driven. You know what I mean? Like all the time, but MTV, bro. Look at MTV. That's how we found all our good shit back in the day, right? You'd see a
I
new
agree.
artist on MTV. You're like, holy
And
shit, dude.
VH1.
I've never.
Yeah.
Yeah, VH1. Yeah, 100%, bro. And it
see,
was just like,
streaming took the value. It took the value out of the art. It took like
I don't think
let's
so.
say
agreed.
let's say
I
let's
don't
say
think so.
Voltage. Hold up. Let's say Voltage Mike came out with 16 tracks. You put it on Spotify. We'd be like, okay, we'll get around to it, whatever. But if Voltage Mike came out with an album and it said Sound Warehouse or Sam Goody, we have to make that. We have to get dressed. We have to be there in time so that it won't be sold out when we get there. We have to. There was like he said, there was actually movements We had to invest in that, and then we bought a product with Voltage Mike's artwork on it, and all of his credits and everything. We owned a piece of his career. We had it in our house.
Yep.
Okay.
And that
This guy gets
that
it.
was a big deal.
He gets
I'm
it.
about to
This
ch-
guy
I'm
gets
We
about
it.
were a
to
part
change.
of his career because we have his
That's fine.
CD or his album or his tape right
So
next
I'm
to
go-
us. That was
I'm gonna backtrack a little
streaming
bit.
fucked that up.
I think
I'm
this
sorry, go
conversation
ahead.
has made me rethink something. So I am now going to change my position on something, right? So I originally said that this would mess everything up, AI, this whole thing. But I can remember a time, like you guys said, where you had to buy records. And the records, you would get them, and they would have someone's artwork on it. So an artist was being,
Yeah.
an artist made something, and the music was made by somebody, right? And then something called MTV came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. What MTV did allow, exactly. So what it did open the door for, though, is for videos and animations to come through.
Correct.
So now you had that whole new thing. So now I'm now that we're doing this, I'm gonna try and rethink of what AI. Like I think that's gonna be my chance to see where it could expand somewhere. I don't see it though. If everyone can do everything, I just can't see where that vision is.
So here's if I may real quick, because I will be the first person to tell you, I'm in the younger generations and shit, even though but I was raised by good people who grew up with MTV, right? Why would you listen to MTV? Because you want to listen, or why would you watch MTV? It's because you want to listen to music. So that's the best part. When you saw Motley Crue on fucking MTV playing fucking Looks to Kill, or Looks That Kill, and then you hear that one song and you get that one snippet and you're like, okay, these guys are with it. Like these guys have some good shit to offer. So it would add to kind of what we were just talking about, where like, okay, they were so good. That one song was so great. I need to go get the whole album and listen to all those songs on that album. You know what I mean? Like it was just like this drive, this human drive, this human force of like, it wasn't just like, oh, like TikTok or YouTube, or oh, well, I find this one artist and then, oh, well, here's their whole album. It's just right in front of me. It's like fucking, it's like musical pornography or something like that, where it's like, oh, now all of a sudden all of it is here and I can just see it all at once. And that just, it just, I don't know, dude. It factually takes it takes a lot of it out of it. Like a lot of the magic out of it. I don't know. That's my personal take, at least.
Yeah, but you would hear your favorite artist on the radio, and you knew it was compressed, and you would like, dang, I wanna hear this song as the artist intended. So you had to go to the record store to buy it, because not only did you want to hear the song as the artist intended, you didn't want to hear the DJ speaking over the song. So that helped sell the album. That helped sell the single, because you could hear from beginning to end, fade out, without anybody talking over it, and uncompressed. You can hear the soft tones.
Sure.
Because when you compress, everything's the same level.
But
as
we
far
have to
as
acknowledge that when time changes, we also need to let go of some of the things about. For instance,
I don't think we should let that go though, wrestling.
Who's still the same one? How you talking about vinyl? It's the same one we say. People didn't want to sit back and still be on fucking 8-track tapes.
Well, 8-track was a piece of shit because it was just 22 kilohertz. 8-track was a piece of shit.
Dog shit.
Not for that. I hated cassette tapes. I really fucking did.
No, you didn't. Because don't.
The only thing forgiving about cassette tapes is you could record. That's the only thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can record live music from that. Exactly.
That's the only thing we like. We kept tapes around because we could record shit.
You used to have your finger button recording that button.
We hated the tape hiss. We hated twisting up the tape and all that, and had to cut this and with a pair of scissors and all that shit.
Thank goodness I did DJing, but no, people didn't want to walk around, turn around and try to get a whole new freaking record player. Like, come on.
No, but they did like the quality of the sound though.
But you know what was perfection though? That took The thing that took all of the cons out of tapes and all the cons out of CDs, it was mini disc. Mini disc was the perfect medium for artists, and we paid no attention to it.
Are you talking like are you talking like laser discs or
no mini disc? Sony mini disc, the little square. It looked like a floppy disk, but it was really small. That was the
okay.
That was the best we could have done, but nobody paid attention to it. Nobody supported it.
Fair point.
Because you remember when CDs came out, the majority of your friends didn't know how to hold the motherfucker. They would always put their finger on the disc. You know that. But many just solved that by putting the disc inside of a case so you couldn't put your finger on it. Mini disc was the perfect medium, and we didn't support it.
Games like that, the PSP games.
He keeps saying, I love how he said it was perfect, but it wasn't because people would lose their fucking mini disc.
And it went fast, so it wasn't perfect. That came in and that way too quick.
It was perfect, but we didn't support it. That's why it went away. We were still stuck on CDs. Everybody was CD crazy.
Mini discs were definitely more on video games too, and people kept fucking losing this shit.
Dude,
I don't think that was the reason. I don't think that was the reason.
We went digital too fast. We skipped the mini disc era.
And not to mention, mini discs went by so fast. Cause you know why?
Why?
The only reason why mini discs were even important because two things. Everything at that time was the beginning of things becoming small form factor, and space had become more available, and that began the reason why we started getting. Because what happened right after mini disc? We got what?
The phones
digital, like small digital. MP3
that's when shit went left. That's when shit was left, Resla.
Because now you didn't have to have a whole milk crate full of fucking ass. Now you got.
But we needed that though.
No, we didn't need it.
Voltage Mike, back me up. Thank you. We needed that.
We needed that.
We needed the crates. We needed that. We needed a physical. We needed something we could hold in our hands, Resla.
Let's go back to the very beginning of all this.
We needed something we could hold in our hands, Resla.
You're right, Clue.
The beginning of all this is all about the fact that people have a problem letting go because of nostalgia.
Yep.
No, it's not nostalgia. Right, no, I don't think it is. I don't think that's it.
Just nostalgia.
I don't think that's it though.
What it is?
It's ownership. Ownership. It's the sense of ownership.
So here's the thing.
Ressa, we need to have that. They're right to have a physical something to hold.
Yes.
We kind of miss that. We kind of miss that.
Because here's the thing. Here's what. Okay. Here's the argument that I might make. Right. Towards you, Resla, is that if the music is so important in your life, if it's going to take up such a fucking physical space in your brain that you love this music, it needs to take up some sort of a physical space in reality. It needs to be able to manifest itself by just sitting there, sitting in your milk crate.
Nothing, and maybe it's just me. As much as I like music, you know what I've never done? Hoarded. Become a collector.
Hoard, well, bro, hoard. Everyone's got their own.
You look at it as hoarding, but that's a very cynical approach to it. We look at it as I'm owning a piece of this art.
Do y'all still have
that was important to us?
Do you still have a physical collection, Clue? Or Voltage?
I lost my collection. I had like 1,000 CDs, and I lost.
You lost your collection, right? How much of that piece you're still holding on to?
I can still view those. Cool. I can still view those songs on Spotify, but it's not the same thing.
On Spotify, no, sir. That's the devil right now. You can't mention Spotify.
But it's not the same thing, though, Wrestler. It's not the same thing, though. It's not the same thing.
How dare you mention Spotify? It's not the same thing.
I got you, Voltage. Hey, Voltage, I got you.
You're missing the point.
Precious vinyls. No,
Wrestler, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. You buy more than the song. When you buy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Prove it if it's gone.
Ressa, I'm looking at you, when your camera's on. I look at your background, right? I look at your whole environment, and what I see is you got that nice neon sign back there, right? You got that nice environment. You usually sit there with a nice glass of whatever. I don't know what you usually drink. Sometimes it's a beer, but sometimes it's something else, right? You sit there. When you want to listen to your music, wouldn't it be nice to put a record on and get just like you're sitting there with the physical alcohol, your physical glass?
Sir, I'm
to
not
just
that
have
pompous.
something- Oh, come on. Yes, you are. Yes,
Yes, you are, motherfucker. Yes, you are.
I am
Is that
not,
the word
sir.
you
Nice try.
Yes, you are.
I am
Bro,
not.
pompous. Is that the term you just said, Resla? Is that the word you said?
Yes, sir.
Dude,
Physical.
come
But,
on, dude.
here's
come
another-
on.
here's
Resla,
another
Resla, we're
aspect.
gonna. Yeah, go for it.
Here's another aspect. You go over to somebody's house, and they have the Voltage Mic album. That's a conversation starter. That is a chance to connect with somebody. Oh, you got the I just bought that yesterday. You got that? Yeah. What do you think about track 3? Oh, okay. Put it on. Put that shit on right now. Put that shit on right now. You can't do that with Spotify, motherfucker. You can't do that with Spotify.
So true.
Ever in my
so
life.
true.
Not
It
one
was.
day
It
in my life.
was. It was
It used to
conversation
be.
starter.
It used to be.
It used to be,
the
though.
way.
It used to,
It
yeah.
did. It just
Russell
did,
knows it.
dude. You
Wait,
know?
wait,
And
wait,
like,
wait,
It was
wait,
more
wait.
than the
I just
music.
heard- I just
It was
heard
more than the
say,
music.
It used to be. What's my saying? Used to be's don't make no honey.
Get out of here.
But you still, but
It
but
has
there's
to go.
also another saying: if you if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it.
But you know what's also another saying? If it ain't perfect, keep working on it.
There's also another saying: wannabes ain't never gonna be.
Exactly. Stop.
Shut up
stop
with your
focusing on what
sayings.
what you think I want it to be this way. No, you need to move forward.
No, I'm talking about
So
these wannabes out here with
wrestler-
music.
Wrestler, are you saying that what we have with Spotify is good?
I'm saying it's part of the times, and you need to be able to adapt so that
So
you
you're
don't become
coping with
stagnant.
Spotify.
But that's
You're
not a
coping
stance.
with
I want your
Spotify.
stance.
What do you have against
So you're
Spotify?
coping with Spotify, correct, wrestler?
Coping? No.
Coping.
I'm adapting.
What's wrong?
I'm not-
with
Adapting,
I-
coping,
I'm not. Wait,
potato, potato,
I'm
nigga.
gonna use the word. I'm gonna use a word that sounds very bad, especially towards black people. I'm not tethered to the past.
Tethered.
No, but do you have a preference?
Which one?
Right, we're asking what preference.
Yeah, I was saying which preference. Yeah, which
What
one?
do you mean? What the preference is?
You're saying
Do you know what my
coping means
preference
that
is?
you want something different, but you're dealing with this.
No,
Is this your
no. I
preference?
didn't say I want something different. My preference
that's-
is to be able to be cognizant enough to listen to music. I understand it. I understand the world and the seasons change. For me to sit there and say I need to hold on to what was as tightly as possible will be a fool's errand.
Yeah,
Oh,
free
God,
Spotify
really?
is ideal.
Listen, I've learned to cope with things too. I'm moving along with the times. I don't like some of it, but and that's why listen. I'm gonna tell you right now, my music, in my car, it consists of an iPod with the music from my era. Now people laugh and they say, "You stay in your era, old man," but there's just something about it, right? I'm trying my best to cope with the way things are going now. But if I had a preference, I would have music from the 90s and the 2000s.
Sure.
I told ya.
Sure. I listen to my girl sing old songs all the time. You know what I also hear her sing? The same way I sing? I'll go through shit from Future. I'll talk about shit from fucking Drake from time. We even go over Kendrick. Why? Because it's current.
Is it the same though?
Current
Doesn't matter.
doesn't mean good. It
Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
necessarily mean
Doesn't matter.
good though.
Wait,
Wrestler.
no, you know what? You know why I'm gonna tell you it doesn't matter? Because the same
Okay.
shit when you were listening, because the same time when you were listening to what you were listening to, what were your parents and grandparents saying? The same shit you're saying now.
Yeah.
You don't
But were
know
they
you-
wrong? Were they wrong?
Are you wrong?
That's the point. We're talking about generations.
Did I just get checked by blind? God damn it.
You sure did, sir.
What the
sure
fuck?
My bad.
Sure did.
Shout out to you, blind man. Shout out to you, blind.
You sure did. And he's not
Just
wrong.
got checked by blind. God damn it.
That was an accident.
Not wrong at all.
but see, unfortunately, Resla, I think you're still missing the point, bro.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, because
I think he is too. I think he is too.
I
I think
you're
he's still missing it too.
Like respectfully, right? I'm on your panel. I'm gonna show respect, of course. I do think that you are missing the point. As to, it's not about. Okay, here's the thing. I understand what you mean by the whole generational thing, but it's not about like your generations of music, or even the medium that you ingested music in. I'm just saying all that music that you love to listen to, you know, like you and your girl and stuff. It would be better on vinyl. It just would.
Sure.
It just
When
would.
does
I
it
agree.
evolve? When does
I
it
agree.
evolve? How long do we stay with record players? How long?
When does
Record
it
players
okay.
don't need
How
to go
long?
away at all.
Well,
It doesn't.
Here's the best part.
Wait.
Wait.
We're at a point now, like we're even saying that physical currency needs to go away, and you know what people are doing? No, I still need my paper that costs more just to print it than actually just have it.
It's more than the music, wrestler.
It's
more than the music.
It doesn't matter what you're listening to, man. Like I would just
if
ask.
you're going to start your sense with it, doesn't matter what it.
When you buy a record, you don't just buy music. When you buy a record, you do not just buy music, wrestler.
Okay.
Music is part of it.
You buy their soul.
So,
You buy everything that's been everything that was placed into making that record. You buy that.
No, sir.
You own that. You can't do that on fucking Spotify and YouTube Music.
That's not a thing. I guarantee
that is a thing.
I guarantee you, I will get more out of buying shares to indie company than I would buying a vinyl record.
But that's because you cope.
I'm not talking about a shareholder, wrestler. I'm talking about a buyer of music, not a shareholder. Okay.
No. Let's just
I'm not
say
talking
what
about
I
a
said
shareholder.
earlier. Let's just say what I said earlier. A hoarder of music.
What's wrong with being a hoarder of music?
I don't. I don't like being a hoarder because why?
Okay.
Well, here's a great example. You had all that music, right, Clue? Where was it? You said it's all gone. So
It's all gone, not because of anything I did.
All that previous investment, poof, gone.
But when I had it, it was important.
But used to be
when I had
don't
it.
make no honey. It's gone.
But
Brother,
when I had it,
it
was important.
Dude, wrestler.
But when I had it, it was important.
You know what I'm hearing? That
What are you
used to
hearing?
be my girl.
You ain't shit, wrestler. You ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Wrestler. Hey, I just got to say this real quick. Why do you think that he sold his vinyl?
Oh, that's if he sold it.
No, I didn't sell it. I lost it. I lost everything.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I thought you said you might have stole it. So I was going to bring you to a grander point. Wrestler, why do you think that vinyl is seeing such a recent uptick in the most recent years, like market-wise?
People want to see. People want real music. That's why.
No,
they want to hear it. They want to feel it.
Of course. Like, but I'm asking Wrestler.
You can put all the shit that you dislike today on a vinyl. What the fuck?
No, you can't. I disagree, wrestler. I fucking disagree.
Actually, no. Okay, actually, I have to interject real quick, and I do have to come on Wrestler's defense. Okay, there are lots of dog shit people who do release vinyl nowadays, and it does get true. But it gets bought. It gets bought though, Wrestler. People buy this shit. They do buy it, dude.
I agree.
All right?
It does.
If you're gonna ask me, like, okay, so I've tried to stay out of it as much as I can so far because I'm not trying to like dox myself or anything like that. But I work at a fucking record shop. I literally work at a record shop, and vinyl has seen such a recent uptick in recent years, dude. I see so many people, literal teenagers, who are they literally like skipped high school. I've had people who are like, "Yo, I'm skipping class right now just to like come and buy some records from you, dude." And I'm sitting there confused, right, Wrestler? Because I'm like, dude, everything's on Spotify. Why the fuck do you want to buy it? And they're like, dude, because there's still that magic. That magic still exists. It still does.
Which Wrestler doesn't think exists.
And that's fair. That's fair if he doesn't think that. I just feel like he maybe doesn't know the market, bro, because the market's still there, bro. Why does Juice WRLD? Why Juice WRLD's passed away? Why is his shit still releasing on vinyl? Because people buy it. People buy it. Somebody's buying it for that same reason that we've just been sitting here, talking about, dude. Like respectfully, man. It's just like it's a very real thing, and I see the points that Wrestler's raising. And I agree to a certain extent, but it's just like, dude, come on, dude. You cannot
This
deny
the same reason why people are putting their photos on digital, and they know what they don't do, put that shit in their walls anymore. Because when your house goes up in flames,
See,
all those
why do you
memories
have
are
that
gone.
cynical approach, Wrestler? Why do you have that cynical approach?
Bro, the entire world moves to do things to what? Push for a safeguard. This is the reason why we don't still run on fucking floppy disk and we have already SSDs. What the fuck are we doing here?
You're comparing you're comparing apples to oranges, though.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm saying that the entire world moves in one direction and you won't accept it.
Digital, hold up. Digital is not better than vinyl.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. No, it's not.
And maybe not sound.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Blind. Look at the numbers. We're talking 44.1 kilohertz, right? That's how much. 44.1. That's the quality. That's what we used to listen to. We're used to listening to 44.1 kilohertz in music.
Look at the times it's consumed. If you just measure the times it's consumed, how many times the vinyl's consumed versus how many times a digital.
But that doesn't. That doesn't mean the quality is better.
What people like more, what people want more, what people are listening
But
to.
Wrestler brought up floppy disk, which was a failure because of its quality. It's not big enough. It's slow. Slow as fuck.
Easily taken over by CDs. Easily.
I have albums that I bought in 1969. I can name them. I can tell you where I got them.
Burt Bacharach.
They are still better. Well, as a matter of fact, they have outlasted the CDs I bought in the 90s. I no longer have any of my REM CDs because they perished in the sunlight in the car and they wore out. I no longer have any of.
Love that she said that. Guess what? And they turned around and made new technology so that why you wouldn't have CDs that would perish in the sun. You know what it was called? The MP3 player.
But my albums are worth more now than they were when I bought them.
Right. Why are they worth more? Because people still want to buy them, dude. Come on, dude. Why would people want to buy them if they?
That's right, Voltage Mike. That is correct. That's correct, Voltage Mike. That's correct.
They're considered antiques, and people are collectors, which means you need to have space.
It's not about collecting. No, you're missing the point, Wrestler. You're missing the fucking point. You're missing the point.
I've got people that. I have at least 4 people right now that want to buy my Dark Side of the Moon album.
You can't say it's not about collecting. People are literally trying to buy G.I. Joes.
No, it's not.
Oh, here's the thing, Wrestler. Right?
It's not the same thing.
It's a half and half. It's a yin and yang, bro. Because there is part of it where they want to collect it. It depends on the person, man. Like it's like a fucking person to person, dude. It's like some people. They buy an action figure, right? Look at old action figures. Some people are like, yo, I want to have it just as a collector, so I put it on my shelf. Other people are weird like that. They want to take it out of the box. They want to fuck around with it. They want to play with the action figure. Doesn't matter if they're an adult.
Wrestler. I'm sorry, go ahead, Blind. I'm sorry.
The obsolescence is what makes it valuable, not the quality.
Okay. Well, that's definitely a different area of discussion because here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say, right? Like I said, I work in a record shop. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and make the argument that vinyl is, even though I know a lot of people will, and my dad is one of these people, you know, I grew up with MTV, my dad grew up in the 80s, vinyl, everything, bro. Like, he would be one of those guys to say that vinyl is the best way to listen to music. I'm not even making that argument. I'm making a different argument, right?
It is.
Okay, very well might be. I don't know. Like I've listened to all these different mediums and shit like that. But it's a mixture for a lot of people, right? They want to collect it, but they also want to have the ability to listen to it. Like, is there something so wrong with that? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I say like, what is better? Because yeah, of course, like sound wise, records are gonna be sounding better, but convenience wise, space wise, like all the other ways, I think the digital music is the best bet.
But that's what we
So
traded in. We traded that in. We
yeah,
traded in
Quality
ownership
for
for access. That's what we did.
yep,
yeah.
yeah.
Ownership
No,
for access. We're going to
convenience
give up
is
ownership so we can have access to as many songs as we like, but we 90% of the songs we won't listen to. If you have a spot, anybody that has a Spotify account, you're not listening to 90% of the songs that they have on Spotify. But you're
like
paying for those bitches, aren't you?
yeah, the
You don't
same
see the
people.
problem here?
The same people who sit here and bitch about hearing Doja Cat over and over again on the radio and hearing Sabrina Carpenter over and over again on the radio are the same people bitching about, oh man, dude, like there's a lot of convenience and stuff, but it's like, yeah, convenience, it's made us all fucking, like I said earlier, it's kind of like an
Cook,
ADHD society thing, bro. It's
cook.
yeah, dude, there's, I don't know, I think I've already made my argument pretty
Wrestler
clear.
doesn't understand. He doesn't understand.
I don't.
He
give
doesn't
two shits.
understand.
I
He
don't
doesn't.
give two
Here,
shits about
here's
Doja
what
Cat's music.
I'm gonna tell y'all
All I
what
know is that
wrestler
you
doesn't
did it.
understand. Here's what wrestler doesn't understand. You coming over to somebody's house and you seeing their sound system and you seeing their records or their CDs and you're like, oh, you got that. Oh, I didn't have
would
that.
geek out over that.
That's a big deal.
It's
It is a
not.
big deal.
Your
No, it
friend
is. It
having
literally
something
is,
that
yeah.
having an artist that you don't own. That's a big
Or
deal.
even
Oh, put that on.
Again, I don't geek out over this. I don't.
I do, but I do.
I do too.
Okay,
I
so
do
if
too.
if
I'm
I
right there
went
with you.
there,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went there, it would not be phasing me.
Oh,
I think if it were
motherfucker.
here, you would enjoy the hell out of it, wrestler. If I know you would enjoy the hell out if it were here.
I'm
You
pretty.
just
Wait, I'm
you
pretty sure.
just
I'm
lean.
pretty sure I don't go. I don't go to strip
No.
clubs enough, and I would rather take a lap.
No, but right now what you've done is you've leaned back and let the Novocaine kick in, bro. That's all you're doing. You just
Nova,
yes,
the
yo.
Novocaine.
Here's the best part about that.
The Novocaine.
Here's the best part. It's better than being in pain.
Well, okay. I'm just saying. You just want to.
I'm
You
just
don't want
saying.
to feel anything.
Novocaine ain't bad. It's
I
there
think
for a
he
reason.
just literally fucking murdered you live on bro. What the fuck?
You just accept.
That
really
was
didn't.
insane.
I wouldn't
He
murder
really
you.
didn't. I would actually have to give a shit about the same thing he was interested in. I'm not. I get it. You guys are passionate to all this stuff. My literally case is that everything moves on. I'm not gonna be so stringent wanting to hold on to everything dearly in the past.
It's not about holding on.
You don't have to.
Keep saying the word holding on. It's not about holding
I
on.
do not want to accept it.
It's not about holding on, though, bro.
Whether you like it or not.
It's not about holding on, though.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Holding on.
It's not about holding on.
Wrestler actually conceded.
It's been about
He
holding
conceded to the
on.
argument. I think
It's
Wrestler
not about
actually
holding
just
on, though.
In fact, your whole thing about literally holding on to even older technology still being held on to today. Holding on. Your entire base.
I keep holding on.
It has been back since when I was.
It's not about holding on, bro.
It's so.
You know what? You know what? I can't, because if you can't listen to understand because you just want to respond, I get it.
Wrestler.
That's not me. I'm not doing that, wrestler.
Yeah.
You keep putting us. You put us in that box. You put us in that box of collectors.
No,
we're not collectors.
in that box.
We're not collectors.
The only thing I ever defended was the fact that time will always change, and you're fighting me against that the entire fucking time.
I know times will change, but some things,
several different areas, and you still won't accept it, even though it's here in your face.
But some
Because
things
you
are
want to
meant.
hold on to because you want to hold on to shoelaces.
Everything is not meant to change. Everything is
You
not
hear
meant
this
to
shit?
change.
You're making my point in real time.
How so? How so?
In
How
real
so?
fucking time.
How the fuck so?
You just literally said this shit.
Everything is not meant to change.
Someone else.
Some things are meant to continue.
Literally the words he just used. Someone else take them, please. I can't make it any more salient than what I've already done.
What did I say? What did I say? Tell me what I said.
I think he's been
think
very
Wrestling
reasonable and
contention
respectful
is
the
with
whole time.
fact that the statement "everything's not meant to change" is saying exactly what he said. That you're trying to hold on to things that don't have to be held on to. I think that's.
I'm holding on to things that work, and records worked.
According to
All right, records worked. That's something that never should have disappeared.
And not only do records work, but I'll raise it with a very controversial opinion. Records were better. All right, they just were better. You know, for like connecting with people and
I
shit.
agree.
They were just better. All right, and if you want to argue with me on that,
you know what's also better? You know what's also better? The Gog Gog 3000 compared to the classic blowjob.
Okay, that's bro. Now you are literally comparing apples to oranges.
He's deflecting. He's deflecting.
He lying. Hold on. He lying. He ain't never had a. He ain't had a '90s blowjob. Stop playing games.
He's deflecting.
Oh, I've definitely had a '90s blowjob. It was dry.
This is a deflection.
No,
it's a deflection.
Dry as fuck.
You ain't never had a blowjob while listening to some Nirvana. Stop playing games, man.
Nigga,
it's a deflection.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wrestler,
while I was a teen. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, Wrestler grew up with CDs. All right, he grew up with all this stupid shit that didn't matter.
I had grandparents.
You grew up with tapes.
I grew up in the OGs.
Tell the truth. You grew up with cassettes. You're a millennium. You're a millennial. You came up with cassettes.
One of my granduncles called literally still had 8 tracks. We would travel all the way down to fucking South Carolina from New York.
8 tracks.
Like, why do you have this shit? He's the kind of person that had 8 tracks.
How old are you? 100?
Milk crate in the fucking trunk.
I never defended 8 tracks, by the way. I never defended 8 tracks.
Don't tell me what time
I never defended 8 tracks.
Don't tell me what time I came up in. Come on now.
Damn. I knew you were old, Wrestler, but not that old shit.
No, wait, he's how old. And I've said this before.
I'm Gen X, so I'm older than him.
Yeah, nigga, when I was in my house, they were rotary phones. It wasn't touch tone yet.
Hey, I still have a rotary.
Yeah, I had a rotary phone too. I had a private line.
So don't make it
I'm
seem
older
like
than you.
No. So, Clue, don't make it seem like all of a sudden I'm a fucking diaper dandy. Don't do that. Don't fucking try me.
He said diaper dandy.
Dude, I had no idea that just by me bringing up like music in the most subtle capacity would bring all these people on panel and we just have this heated ass discussion about it. But
it's an issue though.
For it. It's an issue though, bro.
It's an issue though.
I wouldn't say it's an issue. It's just a difference in preferences and eras in which certain people grew up. Which Wrestler, clearly you grew up with CDs and Spotify, and that's fine.
I said it before. I'll say it again.
Spotify.
I decided a long time ago to pick a mindset that said I would rather adapt the times and rather be like my grandparents and my great grandparents and even the dinosaurs. They didn't move forward because why? They didn't fucking adapt. I see so many people
But adapting is not guaranteed to be a good thing.
I've seen
Don't add me.
Older who cannot move forward with the rest of the world because they're too stuck.
Yeah, I gotta side with the Wrestler on this one, man. I've stayed stuck in shit and then regretted it so many times.
Hey, Voltage.
Do you think I wanted to learn about all these new rappers and R&B and all new singers? No, I don't give a fuck about them. But I have to learn about them if I want to adapt. Do you think I ever gave a shit about T Swift? Never. But
adapting is not always a good thing, though, Wrestler.
When is it not?
When is it not? We're talking about when it's not. We're talking about it.
There's the person who probably still wants to spend his time putting on suspenders.
Fuck you, Wrestler. Fuck you, Wrestler. Fuck you.
Then taking stuff at suspenders. What the fuck?
Anyway, Voltage, a question I had for you. How much is the Beatles' Red Album and White Album going for these days?
Check on Discogs.
On Spotify?
No, fuck
Spotify, man. Fuck Spotify, man. It's bullshit shit.
I love
Check Discogs though, like for real. And you will find it depends on the quality. It depends on if your shit's withered on the outside, you got to look at the vinyl itself. Like with CDs, if you got like fingerprints and shit like that, if you got hairline scratches, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But you got to look it up on Discogs, and then you got to go from there. Yeah, I don't know.
What about Pandora? You like Pandora, Clue?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Nope.
You can take
Wait, do you say
Pandora
or
devalues the value of music.
What about Napster when it was in its heyday?
Yeah, because you used to.
Well, I was in college when the first Napster. I was in college during then, so yeah.
But yeah, with Napster, you at least got to download it and put it on something physical. It wasn't a record, but you at least got to put it on something physical.
Yeah,
dude, literally, yeah. This guy, bro, there was such a physical touch to it, dude. Like it ended at the era of like the first like couple iPods, right?
Yep.
Where, dude, I remember being in middle school, dude, and I'm sitting there and I like wanted music so bad, but my parents were broke as dirt, bro. And I didn't have a job at the time. I'm like 9 or 10 years old, but there was these songs that I loved so much that I wanted to just have on my iPod. So you know what I did? I got crafty. I fucking went to YouTube to MP3 converter, which is like still a website. Dude, so yeah, I would just start ripping those songs. Like my older brother was such an OG, dude. He like let me know. He's like, dude, there's this website. Like here, you just check it out. And I was like, holy shit. So I was just ripping all this shit onto my iPod. And there was just still this more physical touch rather than just opening an app or opening YouTube and just being like, hey, man, like, fucking, I can listen to this whenever.
You know what the sweet spot was?
So much more music when that doesn't even mean anything. I don't know. Y'all are tripping, in my opinion.
Do you know what the sweet spot was? The sweet spot was when iTunes came out and you can buy a song for 99 cents. That was the sweet spot.
It was.
Everybody could get paid. The artist could get paid. Everybody. But when they brought in streaming where you could pay a certain amount, $14 a month, who listens to $14 worth of music a month? Nobody. So that means somebody's getting dicked financially. That's what that means. Somebody's getting dicked financially.
That's fucking true. So true.
Yeah.
Dude. Damn.
If you could,
this guy,
every song you want to listen to, you have to pay 99 cents for. That was a sweet spot right there. But we went to streaming and everything got fucked up.
Clue gets it, bro. Clue gets it, bro. This is my new best friend, bro. This is my new man, bro. He's my man.
Shit, I never would have paid.
I've been pissed about this shit for decades.
I'm glad I'm finally speaking your language, brother.
That's why there's no good music, because there's no incentive to make good music.
Have you heard my bars?
There's no incentive.
I got all the good music, dog.
And it's getting so weird nowadays where people love buying vinyl so much that there's an album that was released like 15 years ago, but it's on Spotify and it has so many monthly listeners that they just start printing it on vinyl because everyone loves fucking vinyl. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What?
Literally give it the vinyl sound.
Nothing beats the vinyl sound.
And not even the vinyl sound, but it's like you brought up earlier, Clue. It's like just having it at your house, and then you have a little like house party, and people are like, damn, oh, you got this album? Oh, damn. Oh, what's this album? And
that's
like,
what Resla doesn't seem to understand.
Let me throw it on for you, bro. And it's okay. It's okay if he doesn't understand. Everyone's got their own different perspectives, of course, right? But it's like, dude, it's just there's something. There's the it factor. There's that magic, bro. And it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away, I don't think, anytime in the next, 15, 20 years. Right?
Resla doesn't seem to understand this. He thinks it's all about, we're just hoarders. We just want to keep a bunch of shit in our house. It's more than that.
Most people who I know who held onto albums have lost them. Either the damage or due to weather or due to having family growth.
And normally most of the time that they sold all their albums is because they bought CDs, and then after they bought CDs they realized, these are worthless because everything's on fucking iTunes nowadays. I'm gonna buy my shit on iTunes. Why did I just buy all my shit on iTunes? It's on Spotify and Pandora now. Oh,
I know
what the
people
fuck?
who sold it. I know people
It's
who
more
sold
than
albums
it's more
before
than
they
the
ever.
music.
I know people who sold albums before they gave up freaking action figures.
It's more than the music, guys. That's
And
what I'm
they
trying
came
to.
back, bro.
That's what
And
I'm
they
trying to.
came
That's
back,
what I'm trying
bro.
to.
Like,
I want you to understand. It's more than the music. When you buy that CD or you buy that album, you're buying so much more than the music.
It's funny because I don't see that in my bank
Because
account.
if it was
doesn't
all about
matter
the
about
music,
your
if
bank
it was
account.
hold up,
Doesn't matter
if it
about
was
your
all
my bank
about the
account
music,
matters. My bank
if it
account
was
absolutely matters.
hold up, wrestler, if it was all about the music, you would push play and record on your tape deck and get the music. It's not
My
about
tape deck.
just
No, I
the
gave that shit
music.
up too. Did you not?
It's
you were not here
more
too.
than that.
I give that shit too.
You got the Voltage Mike album. That's a big fucking
Dude,
deal.
Let's be
You
honest. Let's be
purchase
honest.
that.
Let's
You
be
got it
honest, let's be
here.
honest.
You can hold
You
it
got
in your
the answer
hand.
machine.
You can hold it
You
in your
the little
hand.
cassette
You
be an
got
answering
it.
machine. You still got that too. You have to flip both sides, A and B, for the answering machine. You
It's
still got that
apples
shit.
and oranges. Apples and oranges, wrestler. Apples and oranges. You still doing it. You still doing it.
Wait, it still sounds like a fruit salad to me.
Fuck. You still doing it, wrestler.
I'm
You're
gonna
doing
give
it
OG
again.
I'm gonna give OG all my albums when he gonna get them in my will, all 1,500 of them.
He gonna use it for fishing bait.
1,500.
No,
Holy
I'm
fucking
gonna
shit.
hang them on the wall.
What do you have?
Mama,
What-
he gonna chop them and screw them. Don't do that. They're gonna get
That's the
chopped and
whole
screwed.
thing.
Chopped
You
and
know?
screwed. Oh my God. Somebody bring up chopped and screwed.
Yes, I will.
June 27th is coming up, y'all. That's his birthday.
Go to have them all sent to OG.
That's the
Cause
whole
he's my
thing.
favorite.
Thank you, Mama.
This is so crazy, bro, dude. Something as like universal as music can just be like so divisive sometimes, but you know.
That's wrestler's fault.
No,
It's wrestler's
I
It ain't my
wrestler's
fault.
Yeah, it is
do
your
mind
fault,
the
brother.
song,
Dude,
It's your fault.
It ain't my fault.
I do
It
have to
ain't
say.
my fault.
Did I do
I do
that?
have to say to wrestler.
Did I do that?
I gotta
Go
admit it. I gotta admit it to wrestler. All of the albums that we have do hold some sort of sentimental value. They're all attached to some thing, some part, some concert, some birth, something that happened along the way in our lives. Not to mention the fact that we just really love music.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, check it out. I have a question. If these, look, this is my Facebook. If these records are so important, why won't anybody buy them? These are records that I
Lots
had.
of people buy them.
Oh, no.
Look,
They're
hold
not
on.
records. They're on your
buy 'em.
phone. If they're on your phone, they're not records.
No, look, they're records that I was selling on Facebook Marketplace. And look,
Okay.
these are supposedly some of the, I don't know, whoever.
That's only because no one really liked Vanilla Ice.
That's it. You
Pockets,
can't do that, bro.
The Police.
You can't put Milli Vanilli out there. Don't do that.
I Milli Vanilli. No.
Hey, I like Milli Vanilli. I don't care if they weren't singing it, but
Look,
that
John
music was fire.
Kennedy, the John F. Kennedy Memorial Album, Jermaine Jackson,
Jermaine Jackson?
Luther Vandross. Bro, I had.
Hey, I got a crazy question about that Nitty Vanilli stuff. Was they the first AI?
Prince.
No.
No.
Prince and the
I
Revolution.
was just making sure.
Go crazy. People, is what that says.
People look for certain
Michael
things.
Jackson, Off the Wall. Tell me that shouldn't
That's a good one.
Shouldn't that be worth cash?
People-
Michael
They're
Jackson got to be there as a baby. Look, bro, he's like.
Those are albums,
What
though,
kind of
blind.
price?
Okay,
What
yeah,
kind of
so-
price did you have
He
on
was
it?
the one album that I couldn't sell for the life of me, bro.
What's your price?
Okay, wait,
Do you still have
wait, y'all.
that?
If I may, I gotta respond to what Homeboy's saying. So first off, I can't see what you're showing on your phone. All right, so if you're showing photos that you took of the albums, I can't see them because your brightness is very bright, right?
Yeah.
So
He said you got that.
It
that
comes
he
down
said you got
to-
that serial killer look right now, so he can't.
Yeah,
he can't
Blind
really
is in 1953 right now. But go ahead.
but yeah, so basically, like, it's going to come down to the condition of your vinyl, but also, dude, you cannot make a Facebook Marketplace argument, dude. Like, because it comes down to where you live, bro. Because, like, okay,
If they're
here's the
worth,
thing,
you're
right?
saying they're universally worth cash, bro. And these Michael Jackson albums, like, come on,
Well,
nobody would buy them for
Yeah,
$1.
put them up, on eBay, bro. Put them up on eBay, and you're gonna get
I
offers,
gave them
bro.
I would
I
say
gave
go to
them away. They're
eBay.
gone now.
Wait. Oh, did they go now? You already sold them.
I give them away.
Okay.
Oh, you gave them away. Okay, so like, because I'm not
Mm.
even trying to grab any like information from you or anything, but I was just gonna ask, like, do you live in a rural town or do
Wait,
you
you know
live
what
in an
that?
urban
Wait,
town?
Clue. You know what that reminds me of, right? Give
What's
it away,
that?
give it away, give it away now.
I live in the 10th biggest city in the world. I live in San
The
Antonio,
10th
Texas.
Okay, I got you. I got
Texas.
you.
I'm from Texas too. I'm from Dallas.
All I'm saying, bro, is that the last place you go to sell your fucking vinyl is on Facebook Marketplace, bro. Like, just put it on eBay or bring it into a local record
It's the
shop.
same thing. Look, my only point
It's
of
not the
bringing
same
it up
thing.
is the fact
It's
that,
not
look,
the same
it
thing.
sounds real nice. It's real romanticized, and yeah, but it's just like baseball cards, bro. That shit ain't really worth nothing.
Well, you can make money off of Facebook.
Why?
You can
This
make
brings
money
up-
off
this
of
brings
baseball
up-
cards
People are
too if
looking
you've got
for-
good shit and good quality. Like, what?
This brings up a good question. How can you sell anything music wise on Facebook if we have Spotify? Is there value beyond the music? Beyond the music?
Who's selling
Why would you sell a Led Zeppelin? Why would you sell a Led Zeppelin record if you can get Led Zeppelin on Spotify?
Great.
Maybe there's something beyond the
That's
music
probably why nobody
that you
buys
want
it.
to buy. Huh?
Maybe it's for people who are collectors.
Yeah, that's probably why nobody
They're
bought
not
it.
collectors, Resla. God damn it. They're not collectors. They're not collectors.
Hey, Mama, you might need to put
Jesus
Ressa
fucking
over your
Christ.
lap and spank him because he is not.
He knows I take the hits.
Yeah, that's.
She's just gonna wear her hand out.
No, because that's the funny thing is that, like,
built.
so San Antonio has a really solid record store scene. Did you try to call any of the local record shops to see if they buy records?
Yeah, and I will admit it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Let me see the exact time.
Okay.
It was a few years ago.
Well, Blind, I don't know what you're talking about, sir, because if they told you that they're not going to take Michael Jackson off the wall, that's a goddamn lie.
No, dude, they were offering me like $5 a record, or not even a record.
$5?
Like
That's
Your
it?
records must have been in like dog piss condition, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
but,
gotta
like,
have good condition if you want, like, $20,000, $30,000 for
Look,
it. You
I
gotta
can
be
send
mint
Ressa-
condition.
I'll send Ressa the pictures. He can put them up if he wants. They're all in good condition.
I would heavily doubt that if they're going to buy, or unless there's a shit. It could have very well been a very shitty record shop that you offered them to, and then they were like, "Yo, we're just going to pay dirt cheap for that." That's very possible. So I will give you the benefit of the doubt, homeboy.
Either that or they
so-
already have 10 copies of it.
I shopped them around because I
And
thought
that's,
when I was
the problem with people like your Michael Jacksons, and they sold so many copies of each album that they're still out there. So it's hard to even sell them to collectors, because unless you have a particular album, collecting is weird because they're going to look at the number on the jacket cover. And
Hey, Mama.
But
see
not
how
all
low
of us
that
are
number
collectors.
is.
So.
Mama, can you say that one more time? Album what?
No, don't say that. Don't say that again. No, don't say that
The people in
again.
the back row. The people in the back row. Can you say
No, no.
There are people
album
who
what?
collect, and they
Okay.
collect.
There
for
are.
specific
They
reasons.
exist.
There you go.
They exist. Resla, they exist. Resla, they exist. But that's not all of us.
I just want to make sure they're not out there.
No. They exist, but that's not all of us, though. All of us want
here's
the
the thing,
music.
though.
We want more than the music.
Clue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of us fuck, but we're not all porn stars. So, yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
There's some of y'all just vinyl hobbyists.
That's a
No,
fact.
no, that's incorrect, sir. That's incorrect.
Well,
That's
man, that's what it's
incorrect.
saying. That's what
That's
it's saying.
incorrect.
Okay.
I said
No, no, no,
some of
no,
y'all. I said some of
Okay.
y'all, Blue. Some of y'all are vinyl hobbyists, and some of y'all are collectors.
no,
Some of y'all
no.
wait. And it seems like some of y'all are true to the game, but what y'all don't realize is y'all ain't nothing but a person who is doing restoring. Y'all just
No.
trying to restore that memory that you had, sir. But you can just sit with
So
these
what's wrong with
headsets.
that?
That same
OG,
song.
OG, what's wrong with that?
That same song right now. You
OG,
gonna
what's
think
wrong
it's
with
like,
that?
hey, nothing, sir. But now you can sit in jacuzzi. Now you can walk with that cell phone. You see, the problem is you can't walk with that record player down the street and play that, but you can walk with this cell phone down the
It's
street.
got that
Hey, you
TV in the background.
Yeah. Who the fuck
Somebody
is that
watching
guy?
TV.
No one is walking around anymore with a huge boombox on their fucking shoulders.
I
I'm
No,
not
know.
but I could.
asking you to do that, Wrestler.
But I could.
I'm not
No, I'm
asking
just
you to
saying.
do that.
We
What
said,
I'm
but
saying is that
can't,
when people purchase
can't.
these albums, they're purchasing more than the music. They're purchasing everything. A part
Yeah,
of ownership. All right?
yeah, yeah,
Ownership.
Look, I
yeah.
sent the records to Wrestler. It was
Jesus Christ.
2017, and no, I couldn't make no money off of them, dog. Nothing.
Sounds like a skill
You're gonna
issue.
you're gonna get you a boom box and put you a vinyl
Not the
record player on
boombox.
top, and
I'll
then
do that
like
shit.
that one you get off the T-move with the wheels. It look like a
Oh
travel
no,
bag,
sir. You're gonna
and then you
they
throw the
too nice.
vinyl on top of it. Then
I
you can
dare you.
travel with it.
No, sir.
That's the way you do it. That's the only way
eBay
you're gonna be able to play
only.
it on the move.
Whatever.
eBay only.
Are
Maybe
y'all making fun?
Backpage.
Are you making
Maybe
fun of me, OG? You making fun of me, bro?
Craigslist, but you cannot
I don't
pay.
think you should be making fun of me right now.
Damn. Damn, bro.
Hey, Clue, I'm on this weed. Don't listen to me.
I'm on something too, but you should be making fun of me though.
No, but I could put it. I could put it on my turntable, play it through my 500 watt per channel Techniques amplifier
But you
receiver
can't. Yeah, mama, but you
with my
can't take that
1500.
nowhere.
But I could walk all over the neighborhood and hear it.
Yeah, but you can't take it. Well, you can't travel with it. You can't really do nothing with it. It's only a stationary. It's just like me. Like I can say all that. I can take this thumb drive that's plugged up to this and go right out there to the Jeep and shake the whole block up. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that
Right.
I'm not going to play it on my phone. It's the thing I agree with Clue is the music. That's one thing we all agreeing on is the music.
Yeah.
The music is what gets you, but the process of going to go get it and have it, I agree with him on that too. But he just restoring something that he can't have right now. I mean, it'd be nice for everybody to drop a album on vinyl, but yeah, see if that worked for you. And then how you gonna play vinyl in your car? Make sense.
We bought 8 tracks.
Yeah, but that mama, but how would you take that? So now you gotta buy two things, you know what I'm saying, to listen to music with. You gotta buy either uh something on Spotify or you're gonna go get
Listen.
what? You don't even think they sell CD players no more. So I don't even know what you can do with that.
I'm just saying. I listen.
Auxiliary cord, that's what you need.
I got me my nice little young girl, but there's no way there is some Gen Z pussy who's gonna go, oh my god, yes, play that vinyl with the needle. Can you move the needle? And she's just getting all wet. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Every time you bump it, it goes.
Exactly.
No,
she's sitting there trying to get her shit on. That's what happened when the shit hits. The needle move.
You know what I'm saying? I got the option of putting my shit on repeat with a touch of a button through the cell phone. And it's free.
Uh-huh.
You can't beat that.
No,
you can't
and I
people.
agree. And I agree with you there. I mean, there's, for convenience sakes, there's certainly easier ways to be able to carry your music around with you. But for longevity, for just, oh man, I haven't heard this song in 25 years. And you've got it. And it's still in as good a condition as it was. Well, in my case anyway. It's in as good a condition as it was when I put it away. So I know it's going to play, and I can listen to it.
What?
You
I mean,
know?
can we keep it up? Can we keep it a buck?
Yeah, we got to keep it a buck, Mama.
Can
That's
we keep
crazy.
it a buck? One of the reasons why we also moved away from vinyl and CDs is because when that bitch moved, you had to start all over again. MP3s were the things that started holding shit down because you can shake that bitch all up. Even who had a Walkman or a Discman, when your CD moved, you knew you was fucking. You had to start all over again.
Now, my mama, I agree with you until you said that it stay as new as you keep it, and that's a great fact. But one thing that's greater than that is if you put it on a cell phone, the quality never goes down.
Thank you.
No, and I'm not disagreeing with you there. And on the cell phone, I mean, you can keep a lot of music on the cell phone, and it's in one tiny little, 3 inch by 7 inch space.
Ma'am, they said the quality. They said the quality is not the same because you know why? There
No,
wasn't. There
no,
wasn't some art. There wasn't some
Well,
struggling
well,
artist
but
breaking
I
his
like,
back, bringing his
but I,
fingernails to the bones, playing on his instrument. That's the reason why.
well, it's
but
not
no,
that because I think they was talking about like when you play the song, you like Mama said, you got your record player, you got it hooked up to your amplifiers, you got you know what I'm saying, you can hear it throughout the house. It gives you some type of feeling, but what
No.
they
This
got,
all
wait,
started.
wait,
This all
wait,
started
wait,
with the artist.
wait,
We
I know,
can't
but
feel
check
the
this out.
addicts. We
But
can't
check
feel
this
the
out.
cocaine addicts playing on their guitars and how the struggling of the tours that they've been on. We can't.
I
We
get you.
can't.
I get you on that, but see, my point was way different than that because to that point again, it's just like the point I just got through making about the longevity and never going bad. When you have to go through that experience of putting that record on there, cutting it on, sitting down, getting ready to smoke you a cigarette or drink you a cup of wine and listen to your favorite record. What you don't realize is with this cell phone, it makes it even better because now you got something that's added to the cell phone that you never had on that record, which was Beats by Dre or Raycon. Hey, y'all come and support me and Resma, man. Get those some type of responsibility or something. Raycon, Beats by Dre. But yeah, you have that. That makes it even better. So now you get to take out all the police sirens, the kids running around the house getting on your damn nerves. You ain't got to worry about looking for the controller because it's in your hand, and you got your earbuds in and you're hearing the best thing you ever heard in your life and it's coming crispy only to you. Now, this is experience that you couldn't have back in the day because you had to share that music with everybody once you cut it on. Now, only you can hear it. Tell you,
until your
So
kids yell at you and go, "You're singing off key."
yeah, that too.
fair. Yeah, okay. So fair point that OG brought up there. So one thing that I wanted to clarify, just for the record, all right, for the record, haha, very funny, kind of
I got it.
satirical. So dude, here's the thing. I'm not trying to say that listening to vinyl is the best sound. There are other people out there who could make the argument better than I could for that. That's not my argument to make, right? What my argument is just that, yeah, so like vinyl is more personable, and it just shows through generations, bro. You don't have to take my word for it. That's totally fine. That's why it's the open discussion drop by panel, right?
Yes, sir.
But there is totally okay. Another thing I wanted to bring up, because you're talking about like popping in your headphones, you're like, now all this music is just for me. But there were sound systems back in the 70s and the 80s, where you could plug in your headphones to the system and just listen to it, like, because there were these moments in the 70s especially, if you're in the chat, or even people on panel right now, if you brought home a Kiss record to your parents in the 70s, they were going to be like, what the fuck are you listening? Who are these people? What is this? You're like, Kiss, bro? They have their face painted. They look demonic. They look fucking this. So you would bring it home late at night. You'd plug your headphones into the sound system and you'd listen to it, and with the big corded headphones and shit, it was like a whole experience. And there's, I don't know, dude. I think that's like, I understand that shit changes over time, but the interesting point that I was just bringing up is like, why are there kids who are like so much younger than me? Because I think I might be the youngest guy on panel right now, and I just would just like to ask the question, right? Like, why are there kids who are so much younger than I am, and they're coming in with they're spending all their birthday money on records from artists that they like? I'm like, why are they buying a record of this?
Because
Dude? Like,
they've been told that they can flip shit later if they just hold on to it.
you are so fucking bad faith for that, Resla. You're so bad faith. That's
I'm
so
telling you what.
bad faith.
I can tell you what. I coach and train people who are even in their early 20s, and they tell me this.
Oh
Well,
my God,
and
you are
another
so
thing,
bad faith, bro. That's because that's
nah, he
not
ain't
though.
fake.
Like,
No,
Stop. You tell me bad faith. This is what come out of their mouth.
it's not even what come out of their mouth.
anecdotal.
Pushing,
That's
no, they
anecdotal,
pushing it.
Wrestler.
They pushing it, bro. Because
Sure,
I'm gonna say this.
What words did I say?
Let me get here. Let me get here. Let me get here real quick.
He said anecdotal, but I never said it wasn't. I said the kids that I train, I coach, that they tell me.
It's not even. It's not even that. It's just a recurrence of, like he's saying, the young kids. It's these kids is listening to people we don't listen to, sir. They listen to NLE Chopper. This nigga came out with a vinyl CD that he wanted to push when he dropped his album on Spotify and all that. And he made it like gold and some other color. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. You got the new people. You said the Juice Worlds. You got what's the other nigga? The dude that was doing big like 2 years ago. Travis Skin Knot. You know, he went it. Yeah, I call him Skin Knot. You know what I'm saying? He went and got him in little vinyl done. You know what I'm saying? Special vinyl done. Some people been, and plus they've been making these vinyls out of all type of new resins and all that shit. So you get this new type of designs and, you know, the see-through. I think them the ones I don't know if they popular at your shop, but the see-through vinyl, you know what I mean? They've been popping with that type of stuff. Oh, we got another person in the back. That's Uncle Fatty. We're gonna bring him on. What's good with you, my brother?
How's it?
I didn't even see him. What's going on?
Yeah, but they got all type of good stuff out here for these youngsters, and these youngsters is listening to Lil Uzi Bit Nerd, and he's coming out with these albums with these. They putting them out as something as a collector's item, like Wrestler was saying to his point, and these people thinking they can save it. I think Nicki Minaj did one, you know, for her 100 little click, the little bar click. You know, Beyonce dropped the album and made a vinyl album to go with her country stuff. Like this is they trying to kill all the market because they not making enough money like they used to. It's kind of hurting them on the back end. They getting the money up front, but that back end money ain't what it used to be.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And if I may, real quick, all right, I would like to concede 1 point to Resla that I know. The other, I'm forgetting his name right now. The older dude up on panel. Clue, yeah. What Clue was saying earlier. I know he was arguing against it, dude. Resla, I will tell you right now, dude. There are a lot of people who do collect vinyl to be a collector of vinyl, right? But there's a certain ratio. It depends where you live at, right? It depends like your fucking state, you know, your area. But I will give that to you, right? I will give it to you that a lot of people do collect vinyl just to collect vinyl. But I would argue that vinyl is meant to be played. It's like a fucking, you know, it's like, why would you buy Spotify and just never click on a song for the first time, right? It's like, I know that's a different analogy, of course, because it's fucking streaming and it's like a different medium, right? But I will give that to you, okay? There are people out there where they collect it just to collect it, just because they know it's going to garner value. It's like a baseball trading card thing. It's like fucking collecting old action figures and shit. So I will give that to you. But I don't know, from my personal experience in my state that I live in, where I've sold a lot of vinyl, I would say it's a solid like fucking, like it's like an 85-90% ratio. Most people are gonna buy it and listen to it on a turntable. They're not just gonna like hoard it in their house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. There's a lot of kids that are getting into vinyl to play it, to listen to it on vinyl.
Yeah, It's just legit. Like I don't know how else to argue it really. It's just that's just what I go off of what I see, right?
A lot of re-releases too of like I mean shit, punk rock for instance, like Operation Ivy. I mean old school shit that's coming out on vinyl, like Rancid and Pennywise are putting shit out. NoFX is putting shit out on vinyl. Like
Yeah, 100%, dude. And you can't look at those and be like, well, why the fuck are they doing that? Oh, just for someone to hold it in their house? No, it's because like people are listening to it, dude. Like they, you know what I mean? Like it's
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sound is awesome.
I've seen vinyl for sale at Walmart over on the north side.
Dude,
And-
literally.
And there's shelves of particular albums, and they're sold out.
Yeah, because
When you
that's
get your
another.
next shipment in.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but that's just another point I would just bring up. I'm getting a little riled up, but I'm just very passionate, of course. But it's like, why is Walmart now opening up a vinyl section? Why does Target now have a vinyl section? It's not just because people like to fucking buy it and just have it sit on their shelf because, oh well, I think I could flip this later on. Yeah, there's definitely a certain demographic, right, where they're just gonna have it sitting there. They're gonna leave it sealed, and they have every right to do so. Dude, I see records coming into my shop. It's sealed from like 1976, and they've had it sealed the whole time. And I'm like, okay, so they were doing that back in the 70s. That's totally valid. That's totally cool. But it's like why does Target even have a vinyl section now? Why does Walmart have a vinyl section? Why does all these other fucking stores, why are they now opening up vinyl sections? It's because people are buying it. People are getting back into that. People are getting it's just factually true. Like I don't know how to argue it, right? Like it's just
Dirty's point on this too, it's the labels are losing so much money that they're finding out what people want to listen to now rather than putting out what they think people want to listen to.
Yeah. 100%, dude. Yeah.
They're kind of playing to the consumer compared to, forcing the consumer into MTV type, financial music that is all the same shit. I mean, they say that was it "Rich Girl" by Hall & Oates is the most ripped off song in all of time, but it's not the song itself or the lyrics. It's the way that it's made and the theory behind it and the way it's structured with the chorus and the bridge and the drop section and the pause section and shit like that goes. I mean, there's so much more to music. What's the best thing about music to all you guys? What's the best thing about music?
I would say just the fact that it brings people together. It brings friends together. It can bring family together. I don't know. It's kind of more esoteric, I guess, my take on it. But I think that's one of the best things about music. It just brings people together. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just the fact that everybody can vibe off of something totally different, and we can bring those vibes to each other and choose to vibe or not vibe.
Oh yeah.
But to be like Clue, okay. So imagine me with Clue's attitude at a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert where there's 5,000 people up in the front of the stage, another 20,000 people behind that, and everybody's having a great time, and he's going, "That's not the way you do it." That's not what music's about, bro. Music is about the vibe, man, about the energy, right? About feeling what vibrates with you, and like to dog on each other for what our music preferences are, or what we like in music, or what we think about music. I mean, just kind of dumb. I mean, I might not vibe with Jelly Roll on a personal standpoint, but I like his music. I can appreciate what he's putting out. But like my grandma loved Twisted Sister.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's like there's something to that, man. It's just that like the sales wouldn't be so high if it weren't for something. Like something's going on, right? And there's, I'm not going to be the guy to sit here and say that, oh, Spotify doesn't have the right to exist. It 100% does. And to OG's point, it does provide a lot of value for people. You know, they can drive around in their car listening to whatever they want to listen to, and a lot of the time through places like Spotify. You know, if you're the kind of guy I am, of course I have Spotify, dude. I'm not sitting here
Oh
like
yeah,
totally dogging on Spotify.
I
Like
got
you
thousands of
got to have
playlists.
it, right? And
Thousands
yeah,
of
you
playlists.
you start up a playlist like song radio, like that option. You know, like you're like, yo, I really like this song. I'm gonna start a song radio for it. You know, and then you find new shit, right?
You know, tell you what,
Um,
last fall was a couple of months ago. I was up on the D.B.D program when you guys were doing the rate these bars or whatever it
Yes,
is.
sir. Yes, sir.
And I
Right.
tuned on to every one of those guys that you guys, you know, everybody brings their own track and everybody kind of vibes to that track and tells us, you know, what you like about it or not. Every one of those artists I went back in and researched. And I mean, I'm a music guy. I've always loved music. I think it's just kind of something that like is in your soul. You know, some people have that vibe and some don't maybe, but like my kids all grew up through the school programs and I've had, you know, everything from stand-up basses and cellos to violins and horns and drums. I've always been into hand drums, but I've literally within reach. I've got 9 guitars within reach of me right now.
hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.
You know, but like
Love
getting
to
into
hear it.
that thing where like somebody brings something to the table that you've never heard. And I need something new every day is the other thing too. I seek new music, new tunes, new vibes. Being
So
on
this-
Nachikita's program last fall, he had this band Otyken, Otyken, kind of some Siberian native gals that are doing like MIDI kind of Ableton stuff, but like with like a big deer skull or like a big cow skull that's been made into a 2-string bass. You know, with like native instruments and shit, but like turned into kind of electro dance, pop, whatever. But like that one band has turned me on to probably at least another 500 sources of music in the past 6 months. And that's what I think about it. Like, there's
it's
so
going
much
to
out there.
spread. Now, look, I want y'all to look at this. Look at this album. This is what I'm talking about. If you want to see some unique vinyls, start going to go look up people's vinyls on YouTube, your favorite artists and other artists, because this is Jelly Rolls. If you look at this, it look like it's bubbling up and everything. That thing is smooth as butter. That's the inside. It's a see-through on top of it. It's all gold. They even flipped it on the other side. It's just something that people is collecting nowadays, and it's coming with a lot of extra stuff that they give, and they usually get stuff like this during meet and greets and stuff like that. You could follow him. He'll tell you when he's giving certain stuff out, and they go to these events and they get these albums, these vinyls and stuff. So man, it's, like I said, I didn't see. I thought it was hilarious earlier when Clue was up. Appreciate you, Clue, for coming through. But yeah, man, you know, you see, this is collective, son.
No, yeah.
You know,
No, he was.
Yeah, I'm just messing with him. I'm just messing with him because I know.
Okay. Sorry, you got me. You got me, bro. I was like, what? That's not what he was saying.
Yeah, I was just messing with Clue. I know he ain't up here.
Try to find something that's open. That's like like Wu-Tang, for instance. Like what that album sell for? Something billions of dollars?
Dude, yeah, like fucking. That's what I was saying earlier. Like you're more than welcome to sit there and collect it, but vinyl is meant to be played, bro. It's not just like a card, you know, or something like that, like a card game. You know, people do that. You know, Magic the Gathering stuff. You know, like you can have certain cards sitting there. Just for like the collector's sake, and then you like never play them in the actual game. It's like music's just a different medium, man. It just is, you know, like with vinyl and shit. If you got a cool vinyl like that, nowadays they do something even crazier. They call it picture discs, where it's like a whole image, you know. Fucking, I saw a cool one come through for this most recent record store day. You know, it's coming up this Saturday. Motley Crue, you know, like Smoking in the Boys Room, you know, like the single or whatever, but it's a picture disc and it's like all of them on the record itself. And it's like, dude, you got to play that, you know. You got to put it on there and you just got to fucking listen to it, and you know, you put it on the turntable, spinning around, it looks cool. But yeah, like I don't know, like colored vinyl, it's really cool. It's a fucking art form. Even the fact that they have a factory set up where they can make something like that, you know, they can set fucking wax on a table and print music into it. Like it's fucking awesome. It's so cool. It's so cool. I think it's cool. Maybe that's just me, but
No, you good, bro. Hey, say, let me go ahead and say this real quick. Hey, me and Resla appreciate everybody coming through. Everybody who hit the Cash App today, you did it for a good cause. That will be sent when we get it. It will be sent over to Uncle Tom and Kai. You know, it's coming through Cash App, so you know how they go. You know what I'm saying? So we will be sending that over to them, making sure we support them through their time of needing. You know what I'm saying? Because of what they went through with their house-to-house fire and things. We did it on other streams. We talked about it. Everybody should be caught up on it right now. We appreciate everybody who supported today. You know what I'm saying? We really thank y'all for looking out for our friends. You got anything you want to give them, Reza, before we get up out of here, brother?
I was thinking about doing a stream, but we won't have an opportunity. If we do something, it'll be way later at night. Believe it or not, we're still working it out whether it's gonna happen, but I might, for those who don't know, I might be on an actual debate panel over on Team Fatty, for those who know him. So I might be doing something later today. We'll know a little bit more about that. If anything, if it does really go through, I'll be letting you guys know in the community tab. Or if anything, for those who are already subscribed at Fatty, then you'll be sure to see me if that thing happens. So outside of that, we have an episode of Opinionated happening on Saturday. I just haven't figured out quite the time yet because I'll be at work. So outside of that, that's all I got planned.
All right, and we're gonna be on the locker room tomorrow with LA. I haven't figured out if I'm gonna have time to even throw up a early morning stream, but if I do, just be looking out for the OGDoDirty show. If not, be out and about trying to catch me some fish, getting to my other page set up to get the editing and stuff so I can drop those videos. But definitely look out for me Saturday, chilling on the porch. We will be doing the episode, doing another fundraiser, keeping it going for this week to make sure we get them up to where they need to be at. And man, we appreciate everybody that came through tonight. Mama, B-Baller, Blind, Uncle Fatty, Glenn Lawrence, Mike, Botus Mike, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Clue was up here.
Appreciate you, know what I'm saying? Came up here fooding, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that came up here, man, we appreciate y'all. Everybody that came over to the show, thank y'all for coming through. And man, y'all know how we do it. Let me find it.
Truck, rolling through the bluff, trolling through the blockchain, slinging heavy clout, spitting on the mic, what's the latest, what's about? Politicians ripping headlines, flipping out in the heart of the South, where the whispers turn to shouts. Meetings in the shadows, hustlers making plans, deals going down, gripping tight, shaking hands. City buzzing loud, news dap in demand. Dirty South vibe, deep roots, dirty land. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the sin. Dirty South, live a thick skin, thick skin. Rappers on the come up, topics in their rhymes. Truth spilling raw, cutting through the grime. Events popping off, party scenes in their prime. Southern nights wild, about to lose track of time. Headlines breaking, cities heartbeat racing. Discussions, heavy heads nodding syncopation. From the bodega gossip to the mayor's dictation. Southside stories, raw truth, no hesitation. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, live a thick skin, thick skin. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, live a thick skin, thick skin. Drop by, chopping up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over till the end. Dirty South, live a thick skin, thick skin. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Dirty South, living thick skin, thick skin. Rappers on the come up, topics in their rhymes. Truth spilling raw, cutting through the grime. Events popping popping off party scenes in their prime. Southern nights wild, about to lose track of time. Headlines breaking, cities heartbeat racing. Discussions, heavy heads nodding syncopation. From the bodega gossip to the mayor's dictation. Southside stories, raw truth, no hesitation. Drop by, chop it up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's winning, who will spin. Crime on the rise, truth over tell us then. Dirty South, living thick skin, big skin. Drop by, chop it up, news flying in the wind. Talk about the biz, who's